watching the Valley on ESPN. A perfect Chamber of Commerce Friday night in Central Illinois as we welcome you inside Duffy. You're watching the Valley on ESPN. A perfect Chamber of Commerce Friday night in Central Illinois as we welcome you inside Duffy Bass Field on the Illinois State University campus, where the Illinois State Redbirds open a pivotal weekend set against the Racers of Murray State. Hi again, everyone, alongside my partner, Nathan Believa. I'm John Fitzgerald. A pivotal Valley showdown, opening up a three-game set for both of these ball clubs. Murray State, a little bit frustrated last week. They lost 2 of 3 at home to UIC, but they have a really strong first baseman to work with in Brennan McCullough.
They really do. McCullough's been fantastic for them of recent last 10 games. He's got hits in 8 of them. He has RBI in 7. Homered against Arkansas State midweek in the non-conference game. He also leads the team in stolen bases, and he's one of those guys that does a little bit of everything. Fills up the stat sheet for doubles, homers, slugging percentage, and stolen bases too. You don't always see that from a first baseman.
This is a ball club in Murray State that's 1 game under 500 because they can really pitch it. And the Birds are going to have to turn it up offensively. Struggled against first place Indiana State last weekend down in Terre Haute. But one of the hottest players is the newcomer, center fielder Augie Rasmussen.
Yeah, he's having a fantastic run over his last 5 games. 7 hits in that stretch. He's got a home run in there as well. A couple of RBI that he's mixed in throughout the series. Had a big home run against Illinois in those non-conference games, but really need him to have a big weekend here. This is a big spot for Illinois State where they can pick up some home wins and move forward and charge up those standings. You take a look here at the Murray State lineup and what they've got. Logan Bland's going to lead things off. Dustin Mercer's at 301. We talked about McCullough. Carson Garner is a big hitter at 272. Drew Vogel in there as well. And they go right after the first pitch and get a hit right away before we even can get through the lineup. John, Murray State's already got a guy on board.
Logan Bland, the switch-hitting second baseman. Punches one through the left-hand side past a diving Shy Robinson. And the first pitch deposited into left field through the 6-hole. And Murray State with their first runner on board. This ball club comes in hitting .266 in the campaign. That's 4th best in the Valley. As they face off against the 6'3", 210-pound senior out of Westchester, Illinois, Nazareth Academy product, Derek Salata. Making his 8th start of the campaign, a record of 2 up and 3 down, a 2.50 earned run average. That's tops of this ball club. Also a team-high 39 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 35 hits, 11 earned runs. He's walked just 13 in those 39 2/3 and struck out a team-high 53 so far this year. He misses with a fastball outside, and the count quickly 2-0 to the left-handed hitting Dustin Mercer, right fielder, who leads his ball club with a .301 average along with 5 home runs, 14 RBIs, also a team-high 8 doubles on the campaign. As Salata paints in a strike, and the count goes to 3-1. Nobody out, just underway. Logan Bland led off this ball game on a first pitch single to the left-hand side, and now Salata working out of the stretch. His 3-1 offering is fouled off to the left-hand side. That brings the count at full 3-2.
Just missed the car on that foul ball.
Salata's last start, last Friday night down in Terre Haute. 6 innings pitched, he suffered the loss. Just 4 hits, a run, he walked 2, and he struck out 6. Another foul ball off the left-handed bat of Mercer. Count stays 3-2. Logan Bland, the runner at first base. He singled on the first pitch, the second baseman. Leadoff hitter, just 0 for 1 in stolen base attempts this year. Not something you see too often. And Mercer working on a good at-bat here.
Mercer, not one of the batters that Salata faced last year, March 11, 2022, at Murray State. He came out of the bullpen for 5 1/3 innings.
Here's the 3-2 again on the ground left side. Past the glove of Shy Robinson into left field. Bland chugging his way all the way to third. He goes first to third, and the trailing runner Mercer gets into second base on the play.
Really solid base running by Bland there. He got close to the bag at second. Obviously, you could see the play right in front of him as it was in left center, but he also picked up the third base coach and went for it to go to third, and then give credit to Mercer, too. He saw that Bland was going for third and knew that he had a chance to take that extra base, picks up a double, and puts two in scoring position.
So Mercer legs out a double, and Murray State now with something working. Runners at second and third, still nobody out here. Top of the first inning. First of a three-game set here at Duffy Bass Field. Just a lot of misses with a breaking ball upstairs. Brendan McCullough, we talked about in the open. Just having an outstanding year. And Salata throws a breaking ball to even the count to 1-1.
He walked against Salata last year, the only walk in that game for Derek, who struck out 7.
Another breaking ball back in the back foot of McCullough.
That was out of the bullpen last year after the Redbirds gave up 3 runs in the first 2 innings, went to the pen, and Salata settled it down over the next 5 1/3.
So here's the 1-2, trying to get McCullough to chase, sawing outside, but McCullough would not bite. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Logan Bland, the runner at third base. Dustin Mercer, the runner at second base. Nobody out here, top of the first inning. Here's Salata the kick, a fastball on the inside corner, and fisted McCullough, who fouls it off behind the Murray State dugout on the third base side here at Duffy Bass Field. 330 down each line at Symmetrical Ballpark, 375 to the gaps in both left and right, and 400 at dead center field. Salata comes set, the 2-2. Breaking ball, shot foul behind home plate.
Salata's been tough with runners on base against them this year. Overall, the opponents are hitting .233 against them, but opponents hit just .190 when there are runners on base with nobody out and 2 in scoring position. He's got to dig deep here in the first.
They're making him work. Here's the 2-2 offering, breaking ball again, and McCullough just got a piece of it, fouled it back. And the count stays at 2-2.
25 strikeouts on the year for McCullough. He's walked 15 times.
2-2 from Salata and McCullough. Links down the ground at second base. Picked up on one out by Kubo. He's going to throw over to Flores to record the out, but McCullough gets the RBI ground out. It goes 4-3, and Murray State draws first blood. They take a 1-0 lead as McCullough's ground out to Kubo. Scores Logan Bland with the game's first run.
Sometimes you see on the Friday nights, John, with the aces on the mound, you'll bring the infield in an early inning situation thinking runs are going to be at a premium. Not the case here tonight, so I think both of these coaches know there can be a lot of runs in this ballgame.
Carson Gardner now the hitter. Leads his ball club with 31 RBIs. Breaking ball for strike 1, and Salata comes back with a slider. That one misses off the outside edge of the plate. Evens the count at 1-1. Dustin Mercer, the runner at third base now. He moved up on the RBI ground outs off the bat of McCullough. Into the kick of the pitch and a fastball, and he threw it right by Garner. So Salata now ahead of his second consecutive batter and a 1-2 count.
And on the hands, too. Even if he hit that, it wasn't going to go anywhere.
Salata at the belt, the 1-2, trying to go upstairs. And Garner doesn't chase. He spits on it. That evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That's your prototypical cleanup hitter. Garner leads the team in triples. 3 homers and 3 triples.
31 RBIs, 3 home runs. He gets a piece of that one there. Driving Pasella back just shy of the warning track in left field. He'll make the catch. Tagging at third base is Dustin Mercer. And he'll score on the sacrifice fly to left field off the bat of Carson Garner.
That's what you want if you're the racers. You come in, you get the early lead on the road, but you also make productive outs. And it's not always just about getting an RBI single or hitting the ball at the ballpark. You get productive outs, you score on a ground out, you score on a fly out, boom, 2-0.
So the first 2 runners for Murray State got on a single and a double, and they both come around to score. An RBI ground out off the bat of McCullough, and then sac fly to left field off the bat of Carson Garner. Brings up Drew Vogel, 254, a home run, 19 RBIs. The junior out of White House, Tennessee, hitting from the right-hand side. Salata out of the windup. The kick and the 1-1 pitch, a fastball, and he threw it right by him.
fastball's been there for him so far in this contest. It's been the off-speed where they've made contact outside of the very first pitch of the game.
Here's the 1-2 hit in the air. Shallow right field. Sokolov comes over and puts it away for the out. So Vogel flies out to Sokolov, but the damage is done. Murray State 2 runs on 2 hits. Nobody left on. We played half an inning here at Duffy Bass Field, and the Racers with a 2-0 lead. Illinois State coming to bat. Back here at Duffy Bass Field on the Illinois State University campus, Murray State striking first. They played a pair in the top of the first inning, and now Illinois State will get their first touch at the veteran right-hander Jacob Pennington of Murray State. And fifth-year head coach Steve Holmes' ball club has struggled offensively in recent weeks. They were swept at first place Indiana State last weekend. But an opportunity here with the 3-game homestand to pick up some ground.
Yeah, and got some hits going against Illinois, and then the game here during the midweek had a couple of hits from Noah Rabin, had a couple of hits from Greg Nichols, and we mentioned Augie Rasmussen already, but Shea Kubo can really make this offense go. He had a couple of hits in that contest against Illinois, and Illinois State got runners on base all game. They had 11 runners, and on that they stranded. So that was the big problem in the loss. Scored 5 runs, but stranded 11, and wouldn't you know it, that's what they lost by. So there's those runs. You look at Pennington, he's been fantastic, not just this year, but in his career. OVC second teamer last year. He's gone at least 5 innings in all 8 starts this year, and 44 strikeouts, 12 walks is fantastic.
Pennington's first pitch to Shaden Kubo, the second baseman for Illinois State. Swung on and missed, and Pennington jumps ahead 0-1. Pennington, his 9th start of the year. He's 4-2 with a 2.96 earned run average. And he's quickly ahead in the count, 0-2.
He's gone at least 6 2/3 innings in 4 of the last 5, over 100 pitches in a couple of those. So he'll work deep into a ball game if you don't get to him early.
Here's the 0-2 fastball. Fouled straight back as he tried to come inside on Kubo. Pennington last week suffered the loss on Friday night at home to UIC, a 6-1 final. He went 6 2/3, 7 hits, 2 earned runs. He walked 3, struck out 7. 1-1 in Valley Place so far. There's a breaking ball hung up, and Kubo made a pay, hit it right back up the box. And Illinois State's leadoff man on with a solid single to center field.
Yeah, 320 average for Kubo, and that continues to rise. And he's got 3 stolen bases on the year. And Rasmussen, who's been the hottest hitter in this lineup, stands in next. 3 hits against Illinois. We talked about him in the open, 7 out of 18 in the last 5 games with a homer, 4 RBI, and he's got good speed as well.
Pennington 13-5, now in his 4th season in a Racer uniform, redshirted his freshman year in the fall at the University of Tennessee. Augie Rasmussen, one of the Birds' hottest players, 257, 4 home runs. 19 RBIs, digs in from the left-hand batter's box and takes a fastball outside for ball 1. Shaden Kubo is 3 of 4, as Nathan said, takes his lead off of first base. Here's the 1-0, chopped on the ground, down the line, it's going to be a fair ball. Rasmussen turns at first, he's headed for second. Kubo motoring into third base, and Rasmussen hit a little chopper down the left side and just hugged the line. Got past the third baseman, and now the Birds, just like Murray State in the top of the inning, have their first 2 batters on second and third with nobody out.
Gardner was expecting that ball to go foul. It kind of looked like when you just throw a rock into the water and it just kept bouncing, and it was at a straight line, skipping right along that line, and now it's deja vu. The Racers had second and third, nobody out. Now it's the Redbirds' turn. See if they can produce like Murray State did in the top of the inning.
Here's Noah Rabin. First pitch swinging, pops it up behind home plate. And the catcher, Howell, comes over and makes a one-handed catch right in front of the screen.
Youngsters don't catch them like that. That's nonchalant. He didn't throw the mask. He didn't put the glove up in the air. Didn't use 2 hands. It worked. He got the out. But youngsters, let's throw the mask and use 2 hands, right?
Absolutely. Not exactly textbook, but it got the job done. So 1 out, runners at second and third, still in scoring position for Adrian Flores, the Redbird first baseman. 313, 2 home runs. He's driven in a dozen. Right-handed hitter digs in against Pennington, who starts him off upstairs with ball one.
Still mixing and matching, trying to find that right combination for the middle of the lineup here in the season for the Redbirds.
Here's the 1-0, little slide piece right down Broadway, and that evens the count at 1-1. Flores, the 5'9" junior out of Santa Cruz, California.
The shift on as well for Murray State. It's only the first baseman on the right side of the infield.
Hit 211 a year ago in 17 games for the Birds after coming over from Cabrillo Community College.
Now they move the second baseman back over to the right side with 2 strikes, expecting that he'll protect here and shorten his swing.
Pennington at the belt. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball just missed off the plate. That evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Flores at 313. Birds. 3 tight losses last weekend in Terre Haute at Bob Warren Field. And Flores hits the ball in the air to left field. Sammons comes over toward the line with a one-handed grab. Shaden Kubo tags at third, and he moves up 90 feet to score the Birds' first run of the afternoon. So Flores flies to left. It's an RBI sac fly for Flores, and the Birds are on the board as they cut the deficit in half now 2-1. Rasmussen stays at second base on the sac fly.
Productive out for both teams here in the first. Now the Redbirds need Pasella, the freshman, come up with a base knock.
Pasella, left-handed hitter, leads his ball club in home runs and RBIs. First pitch swinging, he skies it into right field. Mercer coming over toward the line, and he puts it away in foul territory to end the Redbird threat here in the bottom of the first inning. Birds get a run on 2 hits. No errors and 1 man left on base. We played 1 full inning here at Duffy Bass Field at Murray State, enjoying a 2-1 lead over Illinois State. Back here at Duffy Bass Field as Salata gets Cade Sammons, the left fielder, to swing through. First pitch offering. Here's the 0-1 taken downstairs. That evens the counts. And a 1-1. 2-1 Murray State. Top of the second inning here at Duffy Bass Field. First of the 3-game weekend set. The Valley slot into the line. That fastball hammered into center field. Over in the left center field gap as Rasmussen tracks it and puts it away. So the leadoff man is retired, and Cade Sammons, he flies out to Rasmussen in center field. And Salata retires the leadoff man here in the second inning.
Defense has been strong for Illinois State all year, and they showed it out there in left center that time, running it down for the out.
Rasmussen can cover some ground in center field. Here's Taylor Howell, the catcher for Murray State. And he takes a opening salvo ball from Salata, who's into the line. The 1-0 breaking ball, and Howell swung over the top of it. That evens the count at 1-1. Howell just .217 of the campaign, but he does lead this ball club 7 home runs to go along with 20 RBIs. Right-handed hitter takes a fastball just inside. Good pitch by Salata. Pitcher's pitch there. He doesn't get the call from home plate umpire Greg Harmon, and the count goes to 2-1. Breaking ball downstairs, and now an advantage count for Taylor Howell. Most dangerous power man in this Murray State lineup. 1 out here, top of the second inning. Here's the 3-1. Fastball missed downstairs, and Salata issues the walk to Howell. So Murray State with a runner at first base and 1 out. And that's going to bring up the number 8 hitter, Riley Hawthorne. Left-handed designated hitter, .247, a home run, 14 RBIs. Howell, the catcher at first base, he is 1 for 1 in stolen base attempts this year. Salata out of the stretch, and he pours the first pitch fastball down Broadway.
You can see he's working lower in the zone here in the second inning. A lot of the pitches that were hit in the first were up. Even his breaking ball in this inning, he's bounced one in, he's trying to keep it low. You can see that adjustment.
0-1, taken off the plate. 1-1 the count. Slot has not gotten a ton of support here. He's 0 for 2 in the Valley. Just 4 runs scored in those 2 losses for him in support. And a breaking ball down low, and it's smothered by Swarmer to keep it in front. That keeps Howell at first base.
That's the tough part of being the Friday starter, the number 1 guy. It means the offense is seeing the other team's number 1 guy too.
Yeah, you're not going to get a ton of support. Fastball. Good one. Got into the hands of Hawthorne, who sprays it foul down the third base line. Even a count 2-2.
Shut out by Indiana State last week, and then the 8-6 loss to Missouri State. Shut out by Belmont in the opener too.
Here's the 2-2. Fastball on the ground. That's going to be foul. Glove by Flores, but just fouled before it reached first base. So they'll do it again at 2-2 with Howell at first base. A lot of leads his ball club with 53 strikeouts in just 39 2/3 innings. As a matter of fact, he ranked second in the Valley with those 53 punch-outs. Looking at his first one of the night, and it's a slider taken downstairs. That brings a full count to Riley Hawthorne, the DH. 9-hitter Seth Gardner waits on deck, the center fielder. Howell at first. Here's the 3-2 offering. Fastball line drive to third base. Snap by Nichols. His throw to Flores in time for a 5-3 line-out double play, and that finishes Murray State here in the second inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and thanks to the double play, nobody left on base. We played an inning and a half here in Normal. It's Murray State 2 and the Birds 1.
The defense for Murray State, we take a look there. They have 50 errors on the season. Those 50 errors have led to 35 unearned runs. You see the infield there with Vogel at short. He has 10 errors. Hawthorne, who's DHing today, also has 10 errors, mostly at shortstop. So it's been a left side of the infield problem for the Racers. Their outfield's been good with Garner, with Sammons and Garner and Mercer there in the outfield, and Howell behind the plate. That's been another spot where they have struggled. They've allowed 53 stolen bases. They've only thrown out 9 on the base pass this year. Illinois State's only thrown out 4, so it's not been a strong controlling of the running game for either of these two teams. But when you look at the errors and the unearned run difference, when they've given up 35 unearned runs, that's something that Illinois State has to be able to take advantage of. Illinois State's only allowed 16 unearned runs, so more than double for the Racers.
53 stolen bases allowed. Murray State playing their 34th game of the campaign. Leading off, Greg Nichols, left-handed hitting third baseman for Illinois State, who trails 2-1. Nichols snagged that line drive and threw it to Flores at first base to double up Taylor Howell and get the Birds out of that top of the second inning. And he swings at a fastball on 2-0 and fouls it back. Count goes to 2-1.
Yeah, Hawthorne's played some shortstop. He's played some second. Today he's DHing, but between the two of them, Vogel and Hawthorne, that's 20 of your 50 errors as a team from middle infielders.
Fastball, tip foul by Nichols, who stands in 256. 4 home runs, 17 RBIs. He leads his ball club with 8 doubles in the campaign for fifth-year head coach Steve Hope, who begins today 97 up at 117 down. As the Redbird hat man, Pennington at the belt as he works exclusively off the stretch, and a fastball foul back over the third base side. Count stays 2 balls and 2 strikes to Greg Nichols. It'll be Nichols, Swarmer, and Robinson. 6, 7, and 8 for the Birds. Here at the bottom of inning number 2. First of a 3-game set, and a fastball by Pennington misses outside. So Nichols works the count full to lead off his second inning. Birds coming into play today, just 255 is the team batting average. That's 9th in the 10-team league. And right there, Nichols, after seeing a ton of pitches, laces a ball into the gap in left center field. He turns at first base and walks into second base with a leadoff double here in the second.
It'll be interesting to see how they play Nichols going forward. They were playing him to pull that entire at-bat, really had to shift on only one infielder on that left side, and he smoked it right through there to left center. He found the hole, found the gap, and then also got a little skip. As soon as that ball hit the ground, it shot through, getting all the way to the wall, and he's able to go and pick up the double here, which is his team-leading 9th of the season.
used all field there, and he went right with the pitch. So the Birds, for the second inning in a row, have their leadoff man on, this time the former Greg Nichols at second base. That brings up the catcher, Dylan Swarmer. Right-handed hitter takes a fastball upstairs for ball one. Two teams are scheduled to play game number 2 tomorrow afternoon here at Duffy Bass Field. 3 o'clock the start time, and then finish with a 1 o'clock start on Sunday. However, the projected rain for Sunday might change those plans into a doubleheader.
I think we only drop about 30 degrees from Saturday to Sunday as well.
Beautiful night for baseball here. Swarmer digs in. Looks at Pennington, who glances over to second base and delivers the 1-1. It's a fastball right down the middle. And now Swarmer behind in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Youngstown State transfer for Swarmer, who hit .265 there last year.
It's our everyday catcher for the Penguins in the Horizon League. He goes to the right side. Diving play by Bland, gets to his feet and throws in time to McCullough. But a great at bat on 1-2 by Swarmer to hit the ball to the right-hand side and advance Nichols over to third base in scoring position with 1 out. So
yes,
Swarmer retired 4-3, but he did his job, and it was a great job there behind the count.
Yeah, he got the runner over, and it was a good job by Bland, too. If that ball gets through, we got a tie game.
So here's Shaw Robinson, the true freshman out of Flossmoor, Illinois, still looking for his first hit in a Redbird uniform. Takes a pitch fastball from Pennington outside. Robinson making his 4th start here tonight. He scored 2 runs to his credit. Shortstop on the 1-0, checks his swing, and very quickly he's ahead in the count. 2 balls and no strikes to Pennington, the right-hander.
Missed 22 games with a hamate bone injury in his hand after getting starts to start the year, and see if he can get going.
Breaking ball over on 2-0 for strike 1. Nichols, the runner at third base. He led off this bottom of the second inning. The screaming double that shot the left center field gap. Fastball to Robinson. Take it inside, and once again the hitters count for Robinson at 3 balls and 1 strike. 1 out. Nichols at third. Infield, midway here for Murray State. And a breaking ball, and that clipped Robinson. So Robinson's going to take his spot at first base after the hit by pitch. And now the Birds have runners at the corners with 1 out. And J.T. Sokolov, the right fielder, steps in, the 9-hole hitter, 203, a home run, 6 RBIs to his credit, but he's got speed at the plate. So a double play is in order for Murray State, but Sokolov can get down the line, and that's going to help matters.
Got a meeting on the mound here as their pitching coach from Murray State walks out, and this is where you want to see the bottom of the order do some damage, and getting on base here out of the 6 and the 8 spots to put runners on the corners. If you can either load them up with a base on balls here or get the game tied and turn that lineup over to the leadoff spot in the order, then you're starting to really get things going, and you could see the confidence grow for Illinois State as they get runners on base here against Pennington, a guy who came into the ballgame in the top 25 in the nation in WHIP. In under 1 per game, and the Redbirds have gone out there and put 2 runners on in the first, 2 runners on in the second, and then you say, okay, here we go. And on top of that, we know we can go 100 pitches deep into a game, but if you can get to them early, you can work into that bullpen, which obviously is not as strong as Pennington is.
No, Pennington has been very good this year. Team high 4 wins, as we said. He has a conference win at Valparaiso. That's his lone conference win. He had a no decision at home against Bradley, but he's also beat Northern Kentucky, Milwaukee, and Southern Indiana this year. So Sokolov steps in. Runners at the corners, 1 out. Pennington at the belt. Here's the first pitch, and Sokolov swings on top of a slider. And Pennington jumps ahead 0-1. Turning over that lineup with a 9-hole hitter is huge for this ball club as the Birds trying to get even. They trail it 2-1.
And you look at that bullpen, too. Their most used guys, ERAs of 5.54, 5.30, 4.42. They do have a closer with a 2.21 ERA who's been fantastic. But to get to him, they've got some guys that have struggled.
Here's the 0-1. Sokolov squares to bunt, pops it up, and it's smothered by the catcher, Taylor Howell. So Sokolov on a safety squeeze play, pops up a bunt.
It's a good thing
The catcher Howell for the second out of the inning.
Good thing it wasn't the suicide squeeze option. That would have been an easy double play on that, but that's the one where you got to know that ball's got to go down one way or the other, and you can't give up the out and foul territory and not move either runner up. If you get it down, at least the guy from first is going to go to second.
So Nichols at third. And the first pitch gets away from Howell, but not far enough to allow Nichols to come in with the tying run. So the Birds with runners at first and third. 2 outs here, bottom of the second inning. It's Murray State 2, Illinois State 1. Nichols led off this inning with a screaming double to left center field. Swarmer moved him over to third base at a 4-3 ground out. Then Shy Robinson was hit by a pitch. He stands at first base now. Sokolov popped up a bunt. The second out of the inning. And now a slider thrown to Kubo, the leadoff man for Illinois State, who's quickly behind in the counts. No balls and 2 strikes.
7 for 20 in his last 5. Had a hit in today and a run scored. That's 5 runs scored in his last 6 games.
Here's the pitch. Fastball taken upstairs. Robinson kind of bluffed a steal start, but quickly retreated back to first base. So 2 balls and 1 strike to count.
Kubo had more than 1 hit per game in his 3 years in Northern Colorado. 110 hits in 106 games. He can get on.
Here's the 2-1, fouled straight back on top of us. And Kubo works the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Robinson at first base, Nichols at third. He's the tying run. 2 outs here in the bottom of inning number 2. On a Friday night here at Duffy Bass Field on the ISU campus. Pennington. A high set. He's going to throw over to first base. Keep Robinson in check, and he scampers back at his feet. Murray State scored 2 at the top of the first. Birds answered with 1 back in the bottom of the first inning. Now they have the runners at the corners with 2 outs. Here's the pitch, and Kubo swings through a fastball for the final out of the second inning. So no runs for the Birds. There was 1 hit. No errors, 2 runners left on. We played 2 complete here at Duffy Bass Field. Murray State still with a 2-1 lead on the Redbirds.
Take a look at the home defense for Illinois State with Pasella, Rasmussen, and Sokolov in the outfield. Nichols turned a double play. Last inning, Robinson and Kubo, Flores around the infield, and Swarmer behind the plate. A hit batter starts the 3rd inning here. Mentioned it briefly, John, when talking about the Wichita State defense. Illinois State defense, only 29 errors, and this is game number 28. Only 16 unearned runs so far in those first 27 games. The defense has given them a chance in a lot of games so far.
So Seth Gardner gets hit by the first offering from Salata to start this top of the 3rd inning here at Duffy Bass Field, and I'll drive the coaching staff mad. On a breaking ball, it's the number 9 hitter, Seth Gardner. That turns the lineup over. So Gardner at first base. He's 2 of 3 in stolen base attempts this year, and Logan Bland, the second baseman, who started this game, the first pitch single, comes in. Now 1-1 and nobody out. Runner going. Pitches a strike. Throw down to second base by Swarmer, and Robinson unable to hold on to the throw. I think the throw was good enough to beat Gardner, but fell out of the mitts of Robinson, and Gardner picks up the stolen base.
His 3rd stolen base of the season.
So Gardner swiped second base. He's at second with nobody out. Bland swings through an off-speed pitch, and Salata picks up his first strikeouts of the night as he gets rid of Bland. That threw a little bit up. There, Robinson had to go toward the first base side of the bag to glove, and just unable to get the webbing on it.
Gardner slid too early, and he wasn't at the bag either. So if that ball's caught, it's going to be an out because he was about 5 inches short of reaching for the bag. He had to kind of give a second, extra effort to even get to the bag.
Pretty good throw by Swarmer, though, in time. As Bland retired, that's going to bring out Mercer, who doubled his first time up at the top of the first inning against Salata. He fouls off the 1-0 here. That evens the count of 1 ball and 1 strike.
so far in this game. Neither team has come up with a hit with the runner in scoring position. Illinois State has had 5 such opportunities. They do have a sac fly. Murray State 0 for 2 with a sac fly with the runner in scoring position. So they produced runs, but there hasn't been that big knock with the runner on second or third yet in this ballgame.
Mercer takes a fastball downstairs in the turf. Good block by Swarmer to keep it in front. And that keeps Gardner at second base. Slot at the belt. The 2-1 pitch. Fastball laced in the air to center field. That's going to send Rasmussen back. He makes the catch in front of the warning track. And scampering back to second base is Seth Garner.
Yeah, one of those middle range flyouts to the outfield where it's not deep enough to get the runner over and not shallow enough to where it might drop in either. And a chance now for Salata to get out of this inning despite the leadoff hit by pitch and stolen base.
Pretty solid contact by Mercer, and that brings up Brennan McCullough. We talked about in the open. Get an RBI ground out to score the game's first run in the top of the first inning. And he takes a breaking ball a little bit upstairs, but called for a strike. As we take a look at the replay of that line out, sent Rasmussen back, but only a couple of steps. Able to put it away. Breaking ball again on the ground. Flores going to smother it behind the bag. He'll take it himself. And Salata, despite the leadoff hit by pitch, retires the next 3. And the Birds get out of the third. We played 2.5. 2-1 Murray State here in Normal. Duffy Bass Field here on the Illinois State University campus on a Friday night. An absolutely picture-perfect Friday night for college baseball. First of the 3-game set. 79 degrees here at game time. Wind out of the north at just 10 miles an hour. And absolutely picture-perfect. Not sure what it's going to be like 48 hours from now here in central Illinois. But for right now, a lot of fans here at Duffy Bass Field enjoying just a great spring night here in the Twin Cities.
It doesn't matter what level of sports you're at in central Illinois for any kind of day. If it's college, it's high school, it's junior high, everything is to be determined, as they would say. You know, we might have a perfect day today and then everything rained out tomorrow, and we might have some snow on Sunday, John. I mean, that word was in the forecast for Sunday night, and it's 79 right now.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's how crazy everything here. It sure has.
Pennington begins his third inning of work against the Birds. He was staked to an early 2-0 lead. Birds answered back in the bottom of the first to make it 2-1, and that's where we stand now. As Augie Rasmussen leads off the bottom of the third inning for Steve Holmes Ball Club. Fouls off the 1-1. Count goes to 1-2.
You got to be flexible if you're in charge of any kind of scheduling. Got normal U-High behind the left field fence there for high school. I'm sure their games have been all over the place the last few weeks.
Breaking ball hit down the first base line and foul just out of the reach in foul territory of Brennan McCullough.
Juggling some track meets and tennis, and for high school a soccer game, and you get some lightning, and now everything's backed up.
The world of a high school athletic director is a difficult one, especially in the spring in central Illinois. Rasmussen skies a fly ball, but it's going to be out of play over to the Murray State bullpen down the left field line. So count stays at 1-2 as Rasmussen battling here to lead off the third inning. Birds have had their leadoff man out in each of the first 2 frames, only able to cash in on 1. That was in the first inning. Here's a 1-2 and a little squib on the ground is short. Vogel on the run makes the play, but Rasmussen, who can get down the line in a hurry, beats it out. And the Birds, for the 3rd consecutive inning, have their leadoff man on. This time, Rasmussen legs out, an infield single on the ground to shortstop.
Yeah, nice effort by Garner, and they had him playing in a little bit too. Excuse me, by Vogel, and they had him playing in a little bit too. But you end up with that play, and you're the only person on that side of the infield. That can be a lonely place.
Rasmussen, the left-handed hitter, able to get out of the box just a bit quicker. Pennington throws over to first base to keep Rasmussen honest. Leads the Redbirds with 13 stolen bases on the campaign as Noah Rabin, the left-handed hitting designated hitter, digs in, takes a breaking ball for strike 1. Bruins trail it 2-1.
If you're watching early Major League Baseball action, the defense that Murray State has out there right now would be illegal at the Major League Baseball level, but not here in NCAA. They've got right now the shortstop on the right side of the infield, and the second baseman's also on the outfield grass, and now in MLB, neither of those things are allowed anymore.
Allowed in college,
Yep.
but we'll see for how long.
They all seem to follow each other.
They sure do, don't they?
The pitch clock came in first in college and then gets implemented in pro baseball, and maybe the shift rules will go the opposite way.
Here's the 1-1, taken for a strike, and Rabin's behind the count, 1-2 strikes. So exactly as Nathan said, Vogel, just the first base shot, a second base in his shortstop position. Bland swung well over on the pull side, kind of about the 3-4 hole, and the third baseman Garner went about 35 steps towards second base off the third base bag. Rasmussen goes on the pitch. Pitch is taken for a ball, and Rasmussen is gunned down, but now they change the call. As Rasmussen knocked the ball out of Vogel's glove, and the umpire, after it made the initial call, finally saw it. So Rasmussen picks up his 14th stolen base of the campaign.
Great throw by Howell, put it right on the money, but you can see the ball right there. He called him out, and the ball's a good 5-6 feet behind second base, and Steve Holmes started to walk out, and the home plate umpire said, no, we got this. We know where the ball went. So
throw by Hull was right on the money, and a breaking ball to Rabin, and he swings through it for the first out of the inning. As Pennington records his second strikeout of the night as he retires Rabin for the first out of the inning.
14 steals now for Rasmussen. And again, an unproductive out with the runner in scoring position. We've had a couple strikeouts, a popped-up bunt, and a fly out in foul territory so far with runners in scoring position for the Redbirds.
So Adrian Flores steps in. He had a sac fly. It's the first pitch on the ground to Vogel. Up with it. He throws across in time to McCullough. And Flores on the first pitch grounds out 6-3. And in the process moves Rasmussen over to third base. But he's at third base with 2 outs. For the 5-hitter, Daniel Pizzello. Left-handed hitting left fielder out of Mundelein High School in North Suburban Chicago. Leads his ball club 8 home runs, 25 RBIs. He flew out to right in the first pitch he saw from Pennington back in the first. And he foul tips that first pitch back to the screen. So quickly 0-1.
He was trying to hit that ball into the parking lot down the right field line the way he went after that one.
Pizzello 282 on the year, 0 for 1 this afternoon. Pennington at the belt. Here's the 0-1. Another back foot slider to Pizzello. And quickly the count down 0-2. Tying runners at third base. That's Augie Rasmussen. He beat out an infield hit to lead off this third inning, but a strikeout to Rabin. And then a ground out to Flores. Moved Rasmussen to third where he stands right now. Pizzello takes a ball downstairs, and 1-2 the count to the rookie left fielder. Deep in that left-handed batter's box. Pennington at the belt. Here's the 1-2, and hit a ton deep into right center field, but just shy of the track. The center fielder Gardner comes over to put it away for the final out here in the third inning. So Pizzello flies out to center field in the third inning. We played 3 complete here in Normal. Murray State the 2-1 lead on the Birds. Get a good look at Dan Skirko, the head boss for the Racers of Murray State in their first year in the Valley, now his 5th season in Murray, Kentucky, record of 98-85. 2-1 Murray State as we head to the top of the 4th inning. So with the play-by-play, I'll hand things over to Nathan Believa.
A pitch from Salata missing for a ball, which evens up the count here at 1-1. Skirka, the first Murray State head coach with back-to-back 30-win seasons in their history. And swinging a foul tip there. Garner was mad at himself, kind of stomping out of the batter's box after that swing and a miss. Dropped his head, and the 1-2 fouled down the right field line. That last fly out by Pizzello, the wind's been kind of dying down. We talked about it being 10 miles an hour earlier. That flag is barely moving right now next to the scoreboard. We've seen it kind of swirl over the last inning, and I think that held up that last fly ball to end the third inning.
He got a good piece of that pitch from Pennington, but not quite enough the deepest part of the yard.
Swing and a miss by Garner, and a pair of strikeouts now for Salata as the Redbirds throw it around the infield. That'll bring up Vogel, who's got to fly out to right.
Birds have left 4 on over their first 3 times through the order.
0 for 8 with the runner in scoring position with the sac fly. That pitch misses, and they've had a swing and a miss on that strikeout for Salata. Ball skied out towards left field at the track, at the wall, leaping, and it's gone. A home run for Drew Vogel for the Racers, just his second of the season, and it doubles Murray State's lead. That ball was a towering fly ball, just kept carrying over the wall.
Second home run of the year for Drew Vogel, the shortstop, and Salata, who had just struck out Garner on a really live fastball, just unable to get the fastball by Vogel. He went up looking for it early on in the count and able to just get it over that left center field fence as Basella ran out of room.
Salmons bunts it foul on his first pitch. Salata delivers home a strike this time to get ahead of the count 0-2. And for Salata, that's his 4th home run allowed this season. And a swing and a miss. Have to get the throw to first, and they do. So he does sandwich the home run with strikeouts, and there's 2 down in the inning.
Really good breaking ball there by Salata. That was a tight breaker. Salmons unable to stay off of it.
Home runs, Illinois State has allowed now 13 more than they have hit this season. They've allowed 37 as a team. This being game number 28. And Illinois State has hit 24.
That's 10th best in the Valley, which is last in the 10-team league.
Howell takes strike 2. So he's been ahead of everybody this inning, 0-2, except for the home run to Vogel. And that's going to find its way through the right side. The Redbirds were playing Howell to pull the ball, and he shot it the other way with 2 strikes.
Yeah, Kubo really giving him a lot of ground over between first and second base. He was playing very tight to the bag, but he was able to squeak it through in that 4-hole into right field.
Hawthorne lined into a double play right after third baseman Nichols back in the second. And a chopper to first here is foul. For strike 1, opener of a 3-game series. Murray State comes in having lost 2 in a row. Illinois State has lost 4 in a row. 3 of those were in conference play, and then lost to Illinois here midweek. The pitch is in there for a strike. 1,167 fans for that game against Illinois, the largest crowd since April of 2017. That was also against Illinois 6 years ago exactly. The pitch bounced again. The Redbirds won at Illinois, where they had lost 10 straight since 2010. So won at Illinois 12-9 and then lost here to the Illini. The 1-2 home. That's low for a ball.
Redbird catcher Dylan Swarmer doing a really good job with runners on base, keeping balls in the dirt in front of him.
2-2. That's fouled out of play and bounces back in, hit the shed down the third base line, and comes right back at the Murray State third base coach. 2-2. That's a beautiful breaker and call, strike 3. So 3 strikeouts in the inning for Salata, but a home run does the damage. Murray State up 3-1 mid-4 here at Duffy Bass.
For 46.
Back at Duffy Bass Field, 3-1 Murray State on that solo home run from the top of the fourth inning, and this could be a landmark weekend for Illinois State and their head coach Steve Holm. He is sitting on 97 wins coming into the weekend, so a sweep of Murray State for Holm and the Redbirds would get Coach Steve Holm to that magic number of 100. 6 other coaches have won 100 games prior to Steve Holm, and he's looking to get to that mark sooner rather than later. And it's just like when you're a hitter and you're approaching maybe home run 300 or win number 300 or win now these days in the majors win number 100 or or hit number 2,000. The closer it gets when you're sitting on that number, the more the pressure starts to build, right? You want to get it over with. As soon as you get to 99, you just want to go ahead and get 100.
And the more elusive it seems at times.
Yes.
So hard to get over those humps.
We start the bottom of the fourth inning with Greg Nichols, who doubled in the second. That was a leadoff double, and again, that's where Illinois State has struggled. They got the leadoff runner in the scoring position in each of the first 3 innings and have just 1 run to show for it. And that's lifted down the left field line. In the first inning, it was a single and a double. So second and third, nobody out. Pop-up, sac fly, fly out. Leadoff double in the second, ground out, hit batter, pop-up, bunt, and a strikeout. And the third, a single and a steal, strikeout, ground out, fly out. That one's headed towards the street for a foul ball. That adds up to being 0 for 8 with the sac fly with runners in scoring position. 2 strikeouts and 2 foul outs in those mix, so not really even moving the runners along. That's a foul ball. It might stay, well, it did stay in play, but the third baseman, John, was so far over as the only defender. That's where the shift hurt you. That would have been an easy catch if he's playing a normal third base.
If he's playing it, absolutely. Instead of being 35 feet off the bag at third base, he had about 90 feet to cover, trying to get to that pop-up. Definitely a playable ball in a normal position.
The 2-2 is a swing and a miss, and it's held on to by Howell. So Nichols down on strikes. First time today, the leadoff man has been retired by Pennington. And there's Steve Holm as he closes in on that milestone with win number 97 coming against Illinois last week. 20 wins last year, 23 in 2021, and 36 wins in his first year.
Went to the NCAA tournament, an at-large bid at the University of Louisville Regional that year.
Major league experience as a player for Steve Holm, and the 1-0 is skied in the air towards center. Gardner waits for it to come down. There's 2 down. Replaced Benji Molina in the San Francisco Giants lineup back in 2008 and got a home run on Mother's Day of that game of J.C. Romero. Two outs and high and tight for a ball here. 8 wins over Big Ten teams in his career. A couple wins over top 5 teams as well. There's a line drive up the middle on a base hit. And Robinson, talk about the pressure building, finally gets his first collegiate hit.
Yeah, that pressure builds real quick. Robinson 0 for 13 headed into play today. Got hit by a pitch his first time up in the second, and then a clean single up the box for his first hit in a Redbird uniform for the rookie shortstop at a Homewood Flossmoor High School in the south suburbs.
Good for him. He doesn't have to see that 000 next to his name in the box score anymore. He started the first 2 games at second base, had a hamate bone injury in his hand, missed 22 games before starting at shortstop against Illinois earlier this week. And there's a hit by pitch. to Sokolov, and it's 2 on, 2 out for one of the hottest hitting Redbirds. And Shea Kubo came in hitting .320, leading the team in hits. And he's got a chance here to do some damage with 2 on and 2 out.
Well, here we go. 2 outs, runner in scoring position for the Birds.
Pennington's had traffic on the base pass in every inning, and a ground ball first pitch swinging. Will go across the diamond for the out and get that done in time. And the Redbirds leave 2 more on base. That's now 6 left on through 4 innings. Down 3-1 to Murray State.
Duffy Bass Field here at Illinois State University. The site for this really a pivotal 3-game set for both ball clubs who are trying to pick up some ground in the Valley standings. As they open a 3-game set here, the visiting Racers off the early 3-1 lead. Birds entering play in a 9th place tie with Valparaiso at 2-7 in league play. Murray State, after dropping 2 of 3 at home to UIC, checks in at 4-5 in the conference slate. So that's good for 6th place in the 10-team league.
And you get the top 8 into the conference tournament this year, even with the change in teams. That pitch is in there for a strike. They'll be in Terre Haute at Indiana State at Bob Warren Field May 23rd through May 27th. And on that opening day, 5 plays 8, 6 plays 7. And those are the play-in games, if you will, although the losers will then play the next day because you got to be a double elimination. Got to take that second loss, but the winners will move into the main part of the bracket.
So 2 teams get left out.
2 teams get left out, so you got to get into that 8th spot to have a chance. And that's what Illinois State is fighting for here.
Trying to do so on a home weekend, but Pennington, despite the fact he's given up some traffic, has been able to shut down the Birds when it's counted most with runners in scoring position.
Big strikeout there for Salata to start this inning with the strikeout. He actually has gotten a strikeout now in his last 4 outs. When you look at the Illinois State right-hander, and the pitch is low, had that home run, but he's only allowed 2 hits since that first inning. There was a hit batter and a walk mixed in there as well. So he did have some runners on the base pass. One was erased on a double play ball. He's got the 2-0 as he falls behind the leadoff man here, Logan Bland, and there's a strike. Illinois State at home is going to host Evansville and UIC in May. Evansville right now sitting in 3rd place at 5-4 in the standings. UIC's 3-6. They're tied with Bradley, just 1 win ahead of Illinois State. But a couple tough road trips still on the docket for the Redbirds, as that is ball 4. They go to Southern Illinois, who's 8-1 in conference play, and is, as of the moment, the only 20-win team in the Missouri Valley. They also head across the road to play Bradley, and there's always no love lost in that series either way. And then they go to Valpo, who, and that's the last regular season series. Right now, Valpo's tied with Illinois State, but that might be one of those series, if they're in the same spots, where you go there and you know, hey, whoever wins 2 out of 3 is going to make it into the top 8, and whoever doesn't is going home. And then you're kind of playing like it's the 7th game of the World Series.
100%, without a doubt. All you need to do is be one of those top 8 spots and give yourself a chance in the conference tournament.
1-0 missing down and in for ball 2.
So Logan Bland with a 1-out walk for Murray State. That's the 2nd time he's been on base today. He leads off at first base.
Pitch is kind of piling up on Salata. He's at 83 on his pitch count. And the other way for Pennington, he's right behind him. So they've both had to do some work today. That's foul back. Obviously, he's a few batters ahead here into the 5th inning, but Pennington's sitting on 68 total pitches thus far. And both have done well with runners on base behind them. kind of haven't started the innings well, but have been able to get out of trouble. Here's a grounder towards short, and a little miscommunication by the Redbirds there on who was going to take that ball.
That's an awfully tough play for Robinson to come in and take,
Nichols didn't
cover
start.
all that ground to do so.
Nichols didn't start going after it, but then all of a sudden went for it, and then at that point there was no chance. And they both get there at the same time.
That would have been tough for Nichols as well. That was just hitting in the perfect spot, just to the left of the mound.
So it puts 2 on here in the 5th, and this pitch gets away. Read very well by Logan Bland at second. As soon as that ball went through the right-hander's batter's box, Bland was off the third, and now it's second and third, 1 out.
Yeah, it was a great job by Bland to read the ball down in the dirt. Swarmer did his best, but Bland get a head start knowing that ball was headed for the turf. And when Swarmer didn't come up with it cleanly, able to move up 90 feet.
McCullough picked up RBI number 30 back in the first inning with an RBI ground out. Illinois State keeping the infield back here with the exception of the third baseman, Nichols, who's even with the bag, and by the time the pitch comes in, maybe even a step in front of it. But back everywhere else, when you concede the run to get out number 2, but it's 3-0 on McCullough. And ball 4 high and tight. Now the bases are loaded. Let's see if we get a mound visit from Illinois State. And we will. With the bases full.
That's going to bring up the cleanup hitter, Garner, who was a strikeout victim. As a matter of fact, the first strikeout victim of the night for Solana back in the 4th inning, last inning, to lead off the frame.
That's exactly what he needs right now. A strikeout or a ground ball right at somebody.
Ground ball would get him out of it with 1 out, but now the bases are loaded. And this, by far, as you're talking about the fact that Solana's pitch count a little bit elevated at this point. It's the top of the 5th inning with just 1 out. This is going to be very...
92 pitches right now.
Very important batter in Garner that he needs to try to get out of. This might be his last opportunity to get out of the jam here tonight as well.
Blocked perfectly by the top of the dugout to look into that ISU bullpen and see what kind of work is going on down there. But Garner stands in, hitting .333 with the bases loaded this season, 277 runners in scoring position, and a chance to break this one open for the Racers. And he starts off, pitch just off the plate.
Start him out with a breaking ball. Garner, a team high 31 RBIs on the year.
The 1-0 is a fastball foul back. He has 7 doubles, 3 triples, 3 homers. Sac fly today and a strikeout.
Pretty good fastball by Solana. He's still able to bring it.
The 1-1's a swing and a miss. There's that one by Garner as well.
Elevated that fastball on a 1-1, and now into an advantage count for Solana. Big pitch here at 1-2.
Well off the line at first base. Pitch driven towards center field. It will be caught there. They send the runner home from third. Throw not in time, so the Racers pick up a run. Strong throw in from Rasmussen, but no chance to get the speedy leadoff hitter in Bland. Second sac fly of the day for Chase Garner. Runner held at second base as well, so it's now first and second with 2 outs and the run in to make it 4-1. See that ball bounce well in front of the plate on the throw home. Nice block. Behind the plate that time by Swarmer.
Still not a big hit by Murray State, but another good job of doing what's in front of them and able to manufacture at least 1 run so far here in this 5th.
4 of the 5 runs in this game have scored on outs. The only exception was the solo home run. Everything else, we've had 3 sac flies and an RBI ground out to second base. 1-1 here for Salata. Ripped but foul down the left field line.
On that breaking ball a little bit, Vogel able to get a good swing on it. Vogel hit his second home run of the campaign his last time up. That was last inning.
High towering fly ball into left field for that home run. The 1-2, 2-out delivery. Salata with the fastball outside now, 2-2. Marcella's playing very deep in left field, just maybe 2 steps in front of the warning track, if that. The 2-2 home. Swing and a miss.
Good breaking ball.
Gets Vogel for the second strikeout of the inning. They do add on, though. Murray State scored in 2 straight innings. We're halfway home, and the Racers on top 4-1 on Illinois State.
Going forward, we know car shoppers spend over 10 hours searching online.
Bass here, it's 4-1 Murray State over Illinois State. Let's check out the rest of the scoreboard around the Missouri Valley Conference and games in action. Indiana State doubling up Belmont so far 2-1. The Sycamores have won 7 in a row, the best streak in the Valley. Belmont is 5-4 in conference play. Missouri State an early lead, scoring top 1 against UIC. That's a matchup Illinois State can keep an eye on. UIC's 3-6, Missouri State 5-4. Then no score yet between Valpo and Bradley as they are scoreless down the road at Dozer Park in Peoria. Valpo at 2-7, Bradley at 3-6, and this was a line drive to right field. First pitch swinging for Rasmussen, who's been on base all 3 times tonight.
3 for 3 starts for Augie Rasmussen.
That's what makes this game that much more important too, John, because you got Bradley and Valpo playing all weekend, and they're right between these 2 teams. So whoever wins this series is going to pick up ground on somebody.
Absolutely. That's a great point. Missouri State UIC taking place on the near west side of Chicago. It's Granderson Stadium. SIU in a pretty good series. They're hosting Evansville, who started this campaign red odds, and they began to cool off the last couple of weeks, but the Salukis.
That is a foul ball right at the bag. Good diving effort by McCullough at first.
Salukis coming off a sweep at home against Belmont last weekend.
They are the only Valley team with 20 wins this year. They've won 6 in a row, 20-13. Tied for first with Indiana State. That bounces in, blocked nicely by Howland. Evansville's right behind them, one of the 3 teams at 5-4. It's like you got those 2 at 8-1, then you got the big log jam with teams at 5-4 and 4-5, and then the 4 at the bottom with UIC, Bradley, Valpo, and Illinois State sitting at 2 or 3 wins. And when you look at the schedule, it's doable for the Redbirds to pile up some wins in a row, playing against Missouri State, playing against Bradley, and the series left against Valpo and UIC. Chopper is handled by he pretty much playing behind the first baseman there. I don't know
that exactly what that was. That's exactly what that was. He was playing a deep first base with the first baseman McCullough pretty much able to hug the bag as he was holding on Rasmussen. And Rasmussen moves up 90 feet.
Chop it right over the first baseman's head. You think you got yourself a base hit to right field, and the second baseman standing there to throw you out by 15 feet at first base. Frustrating. Here's Flores, and a grounder foul, and this is where Illinois State's had trouble throughout the night. With runners left in scoring position. And hitting with runners in scoring position.
As you said, Pennington, to this point, has been able to dodge some traffic. Illinois State out hitting Murray State 6-5, despite the fact that they're trailing 4-1 on the scoreboard.
Third time tonight, Flores has come up with a runner in scoring position. He delivered a sac fly for the Redbirds' lone run in the first inning. He grounded out in the third. And that is low. That was with Rasmussen at second and one out. And here in the fifth, he bats with Rasmussen at second and one out. Redbirds in 27 games this year have left 202 on base. They've stranded 208 from their opponents. The 2-1 is inside.
Left 6 on base the first 4 this game. Hopefully cash in here. Casella waits on deck.
3-1 hitters count and strike 2.
Flores thought it was just a bit upstairs. He gets called back to the box by home plate umpire Greg Harmon.
He tried to sell it. Huge hole on the right side of the infield for Flores as they flip the runner back to second. Full count and 1 down. Pennington's pitch is low this time, ball 4. He doesn't walk many, but he has issued a couple free passes today.
And he's hit a pair of Redbirds as well.
Now it's 75 pitches. They do not have any action in their bullpen here in the home half of the fifth. And Daniel Pacella with the fly out to right and foul territory and a fly out to pretty deep center. Skies this one.
That is up the elevator shaft.
Catcher over and again makes the catch, not the way you really teach it, but he makes the catch. He doesn't toss the mask. He holds it in his right hand and just snags that pop foul in his left leg. He never tosses the mask away. And right up against the fence, no problem.
And looks good doing it in the process. Big out by Pennington as Pacella goes after the first pitch again. And pops up. So the Birds now runner in scoring position with 2 outs. They have him at first and second.
Greg Nichols with a double in the second inning, was left at third, struck out to start the fourth. Hitting .265 with runners in scoring position this year, .256 overall. And takes outside.
This is with a breaking ball, so Nichols can gear up for the fastball here, you would think, with 2 outs and a 2-0 count.
One defender on the left side of the infield. And that's way outside. Three and 0, 2 outs, 2 on. Murray stayed up 4-1. And he was taken all the way. Takes strike 1. Redbirds have left 6 on base. They're 0 for 10 with the runners in scoring position. And there's a walk. That'll load them up. For Dylan Swarmer.
Second walk of the inning, issued by Pennington. Now the Birds, the bases loaded with the catcher spot due up and Dylan Swarmer. That prompts another visit to the mound by Murray State's coaching staff.
Swarmer with the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 5th inning. He's got a chance for a big hit for the Redbirds here. Swarmer, we talked about it earlier, played 4 years at Youngstown State. His first year with the Redbirds. 124 games at Youngstown State. 6 homers and a .265 average. You get that kind of veteran leadership to plug in behind the plate. Now Swarmer with the .256 average takes the first pitch strike. Does not have a hit with the bases loaded this season. And now he's behind in the count 0-2. Pennington wasn't close to the plate against Nichols, and he fires in 2 strikes to start this at bat with Swarmer. That's hit up the middle and through. Finally, the Redbirds deliver with the runner in scoring position. They'll score 1 and hold the runner Flores at third base.
Big RBI single as Swarmer behind the count, able to rifle that one back up the box. That's the 4th RBI of the campaign. That scores Rasmussen. Cuts this deficit down to 2.
Robinson, first pitch swinging, pops it into right center. Bland back, called off by the right fielder. Mercer makes a running catch in. So the Redbirds get 1. Finally get their first hit with the runner in scoring position today. But leave them loaded and still down by 2 as we go to the 6th here in Normal. At Illinois State heading to the 6th inning, and let's take a look at our starting pitcher comparison for this one, and we see what these hurlers have done today. Salata with 6 strikeouts, 3 walks. He's allowed 5 hits. Pennington's allowed 7 hits, walked 2, and struck out 3. And pitch count wise, Salata gets into the 90s, and now he is done. Into the ball game for the Redbirds is number 38, Tyrell Chadwick. He is a freshman right-hander from British Columbia. And Chadwick coming into the ball game today has pitched 9 times, 4 starts. He's come out of the bullpen 5 times before today. Overall 1-3 with a 9.70 ERA. 21 and a third innings, 23 strikeouts, and 10 walks. Opponents hitting .375 against the freshman. He's hit 7 batters. And he takes over for Salata here in the 6th inning. And that is ball 1. Salata 5 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs. 3 of those scored on outs, but they're all earned. He struck out 6, walked 3. Hit 1, and he did actually get into 100 pitches, 102. They have him on the official live stats on the box score. Had a lengthy 5th inning as he faced 6 batters, and there were a lot of foul balls and extended at-bats in that 5th inning. The 2-1 from Chadwick is roped into left center field, down for a base hit. Pessoa tried to cut it off. It's going to be a double for Cade Sammons, his 4th double of the year.
Chadwick, the rookie out of Kamloops, British Columbia, showed some pretty good fastball. But Sammons was right on time with that, able to take it the other way. Shot the gap, but still able to glove it from going all the way to the fence.
Taylor Howell stands in now with runner in scoring position for the Racers, and that's ball 1.
3rd time in 6 innings now, the Murray Sticks been able to get their leadoff man on base.
The 1-0 is driven out towards right center field. Catch is made there. Runner started to tag, and Redbirds nearly caught him back at second. And that's the danger when you've got a shortstop with the speed of Robinson. If you hit him, the cutoff man like that, he might beat you back to second base.
Yeah, Sammons kind of bluffed the tag up, got about a quarter of the way down, and that throw was right on the money, and Robinson just a couple of steps away from Sammons, chased him back to the bag. Get a good look at the right-hander Chadwick.
And that pitch is in there for a strike.
Good hard breaking ball there.
Does not appear as if they have a pitcher in the bullpen at the moment. The 0-1 is inside. It's 85 pitches for Pennington. He's gone over 100 a couple of times this year. So it looks like he'll at least start the 6th inning. Chadwick, the first reliever out of the Redbirds bullpen, and this one's driven out to center field. That's back towards the track, and it's down for extra bases again. They'll bring the run home, streaking for third, and in there's, well, he could have been standing up, but he slid in at the end anyway, is Riley Hawthorne, picking up triple number 2 on the season. Sokolov and Rasmussen and that ball kind of bounce around on him onto the warning track, and it's 2 extra base hits here. The 6th as the Racers add to their lead.
Hawthorne really on time with that fastball to the pull side. Not a horrible pitch. It was down, but he was able to shoot that through the small amount of weight down right center field that's kept some balls up, and he was able to shoot the gap.
Kind of looked like they might have ran into each other too out there as that ball bounced, and now we've got the head coach of Murray State asking the question, I think, about the pitch clock. Skirka out. And now it's 0-1 as he heads back to the dugout. I think he thought that clock had run out on Chadwick.
Gardner had squared the bunt on that first pitch.
Illinois State now with the infield in for the first time today. So the Racers have scored in 3 straight innings. And a nice pitch down and away that time from Chadwick. Got the chase swing, and it's 1-2. And it went there again. They're going to have to throw to first and do so. Chadwick gets the strikeout. But he found something there against the number 9 hitter, Seth Garner, and kept going back to the well until he got the strikeout.
Hard slider after hard slider on the outside half. And even a little bit further than that in the left-handed batter's box, but able to get Gardner to continue to swing over it. That's going to bring up the top of the order, Logan Bland, second baseman.
They are now 1 for 9 with the runner in scoring position. That pitch is low. We just saw the one, the triple after the double. They had scored on a sac fly, an RBI ground out, a solo homer, and a sac fly. Pitch fouled out of play.
Bland's been on base 2 out of 3 times tonight. 1 hit to his credit, also a walk his last time up. Last inning in the 5th, as you said, they've scored 3 straight. But the Birds have been able to keep it at just 1 per inning and stay within striking distance. Just a 3-run deficit for Steve Holmes' ball club.
The 1-2 is a fastball high and outside. Swarmer did a good job to go get that. He was set up down and in, and that was a fastball high and outside, and he had to make that adjustment quickly. The 2-2, that's outside, off speed this time, and now a full count. Chadwick delivers, pop down the left field line. That is going to get out of play. Full count, 2 outs. 1 in this inning to answer the run. The Redbirds score bottom 5. Ground ball hit on the right side towards second. That'll get Illinois State and Chadwick out of the inning, but they do give up 1 here in the 6th, and it's 5-2. Murray State as we go bottom 6 in Duffy Bats. They scored in each of the last 3 innings and extend their lead. Nathan Williams, John Fitzgerald, and Murray State come up not necessarily with timely hits, but with good at-bats to bring home runs.
They've been able to produce when they've had opportunities with runners on base and runners in scoring position, and that's hurt the Birds. Murray State's been able to keep that pressure on consistently. They've scored 1 run in each of the last 3 innings, and Jacob Pennington has been just good enough to shut down the Redbirds the rest of the way offensively.
Might be his last inning. He starts at just about 10 pitches shy of 100, and he's kept Illinois State from scoring 1 out of 12 with runners in scoring position are the Redbirds, and that one is right on top of the booth. I can't promise I would have made the play if it was there, but I would have tried.
You beat the ball to the spot, though. You were there. You were in the right spot.
Unlike the catcher, I would have used both hands, but I don't have near the talent of that young man who can make the one-handed catch while holding the mask in his other hand. And it's 1-1 here for Sokolov. And just missed there. Tried to frame it.
Pretty good pitcher's pitch there, but now Sokolov with an advantage count of 2-1 to lead off the inning.
And that'll bring them past 90 pitches now in this contest. And got the 3-1 count. Number 9 hitter was hit by a pitch in the fourth. And in a big at-bat, popped up a bunt foul to the catcher with runners on the corners and 1 out in the second inning. When it was a 2-1 game, he draws the walk here in the sixth, and the dreaded leadoff walk for a pitcher, and we're going to get another meeting on the mound. Illinois State now has put the leadoff man on base 5 times in 6 innings. Both the runs they've scored have been the leadoff man, but they left the leadoff guy at third base in the second and third innings.
Birds with 7 hits on the night so far. Just 2 runs to show, but now 3 walks for Pennington in the last inning plus. He's also hit 2 batters, and that's going to be it for Pennington. As Murray State is going to go to the bullpen for the first time tonight.
He was just over 90 pitches on the day, 5 innings, 7 hits. That was walk number 3. He also hit a batter. And
Nathan Holler. Nathan Holler comes on in relief of Pennington, the 6'1", 165-pound right-hander. Lake Barrington, Illinois, a transfer out of Kennesaw State University in the Atlantic Sun. Holler on for the 14th time this year, record of 0-1, a 5.30 earned run average. He's thrown 18 2/3 innings. He's given up 23 hits, 11 earned runs. He's walked just 4, and he struck out 18 opponents, hitting .307 against the junior right-hander.
Holler will face the top of the Illinois State order. Barrington High School. They've got a fantastic athletic department out of Barrington. He was 7-0 with a 0.35 as an IHSA All-Stater in 2019. Went to Kennesaw State, and the Owls won the A-Sun Conference Tournament last year, and he got a win over Army in the Hattiesburg Regional, pitching in the NCAA Tournament. Moving on after the year to Murray State in conference play. He has pitched against Valparaiso, and that's it. Everything else he's done this year has been non-conference. He threw 1 perfect inning against Valpo on April the 2nd. And he's not allowed an earned run since March. That's what they're hoping for out of Holler here.
So Sokolov at first base, that still belongs to Pennington, the starter who's departed.
Sokolov is 8 for 8 in stolen bases.
Quick move by Howell. Sokolov dives back.
He's 8 for 8 on steals, and they've got a huge gap on the right side. The pitch misses for a ball. Kubo on the day has a single, a run scored, a strikeout, and a ground out. He singled bottom 1 to start the inning and came around to score on a sacrifice fly. Pitch is fouled out of play.
Kind of a whippy low 3/4 arm slot for a Holler. But also keep in mind, he has not shown a slide step yet, and he's got a pretty deliberate, slow delivery to the plate. So we'll see if Sokolov gets a running start here.
Spins and throws, and when he throws over to first, he kind of went sidearm, dropping down to fire over, and that'll be a tough catch for McCullough over there at first base from that angle. Especially with right now, McCullough at first base is standing in the sun, and the pitcher and the plate are both in the shade.
Especially from that sidearm delivery, he's definitely in the shade throwing over to first base. But it's definitely a different look for the Redbird hitters here, as he is much further down the clock from the right-hand side than Pennington was.
1-2. Leadoff man Kubo. That's flared towards right field, and Mercer can't get to it, but it's a foul ball. One and two. Redbirds down 5-2 here in the sixth.
Holler struck out 18 and 18 2/3, but seems to be struggling with a bit of a put-away pitch here. He's been at 1 and 2 the last couple of pitches.
Only 4 walks on the year. A ground ball to first. McCullough to second for 1, and back to first. And the pitcher did a great job there of getting over to cover first for that return throw, and it's a 3-6-1 double play.
Very athletic on all ends. McCullough bouncing off the bag. He was holding on the runner, able to get it glove side. That took him towards second base where he made a great throw. And then Holler hustling over on the back end of that 3-6-1 double play, as you said. And he got there with plenty of time, too.
Especially with the leadoff man running down the line, and that pitch is upstairs to Rasmussen, who's 3 for 3 today. A double in the first, left at second. Singled, stole a base, left at third in the third, and singled and scored in the fifth. And a foul ball here. He is now 10 for his last 21 over the last 5+ games. And that average continues to climb. He's up 21 points today to 278. Heading the count here, 2-1. Trying to start a 2-out Brownway bottom 6 for the Redbirds.
Talked about him being hot coming into play, and he's only solidified that so far in the opener of this 3-game set.
That almost hit him in the knee. Now 3-1.
Birds could use base runners, had their leadoff man on this inning, but erased a 3-6-1 double play. That's where he stand right now. Birds trail it by 3, and they do have a base runner coming with 2 outs.
Almost hit him again. Only the 5th walk of the year for Holler. He's minimized the base runners. He's walked 5 and he's hit 1 in 18 innings. You mentioned the 18 strikeouts. And he got that runner erased that was left on by Pennington, so you now can close the book on him. 5 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 3 punch-outs, 2 hit batters, and he threw 91 pitches. And a big swing and a miss for Noah Rubin.
Dean trying to pull the Birds within 1 with 1 swing there.
Ground ball right side is fouled. He's had a 0 for 3 night so far. Fouled out to the catcher over by the Murray State dugout with runners at second and third in the first inning. Struck out in the third and grounded out in the fifth. Oh and 2 down. That's outside for a ball.
Trying a little backdoor breaking ball from that low 3/4 slot on 0 and 2. See if he comes back to the fastball here. 1-2.
1 and 2 from Holler. Way outside, 2-2. Rasmussen leads at first. He's still a base in the third, his 14th of the year. Probably won't be running here unless it's a 3-2 count. 2 outs and the tying run on deck. No reason to go for second. And the pitch is popped up. That's Not going to get out of the infield. The third baseman, Garner, over to make the catch. The Redbirds leave another runner on base. They're now 5-2. John will take you the rest of the way when we come back for the seventh here at Duffy Bass.
Duffy Bass Field on a Friday night here in the Twin Cities as we head to the top of the seventh inning, the first of this three-game Valley set. Tyrell Chadwick out for second inning of work for Illinois State in relief of Derek Solano with the first five for the Birds. Murray State, the visitors, and the new members of the Missouri Valley Conference with the early 5-2 lead on the Birds. And Mercer leads off the seventh inning with a line drive base hit right back up the box. For Mercer, that's his third hit of the night here in this opener. Doubled, came around to score in the first, flew out in the third, had an infield hit in the fifth, and now in the seventh leads off the seventh inning with a single back up the box.
They've put the leadoff man on 4 times in this game and have scored twice.
McCullough squares to bunt, the three-hitter, and it goes foul. As Mercer's going to head back to first base.
He has 1 sacrifice on the year, but that's the guy on your team that's second on the team in doubles, second and actually third in homers, second in RBI, and doing whatever it takes to get that insurance run home.
Third baseman in Nichols is really in the sun with the rest of home plate in the infield in the shadows. He's kind of covering the glare in his eyes, and I think that might have been why McCullough squared the bunt to try to drop one down in front of him, but instead McCullough loops a base hit in the right field, digging for third, and not in time. A great throw from Sokolov to the third baseman Nichols, and that guns down Mercer, who was trying to go from first to third on the play. So Mercer is out 9-5, and McCullough with the single, he's going to stay at first base.
Sokolov put that right on the money, tagged down right as he was sliding in. The runner knew it. That is assist number 12 for Sokolov on the season.
That would have been first and third, nobody out. A huge play for Sokolov for Illinois State, who trails it by 3. Chadwick, a quick turn, jump turn over to first base, but diving back in safely is McCullough. Nathan Sednar open. McCullough leads his ball club. 6 stolen bases on the campaign. The high set by Chadwick. And the pitch. Breaking ball, taken for a ball, and on the play, McCullough picks up his 7th stolen base of the campaign.
Shore made a really good throw earlier. This one, not so much.
I think that stolen base was pretty much off Chadwick. That was a very slow delivery, and McCullough able to get a running start.
He knew when he went to throw that he had no chance, and it was one of those things I think he tried to not throw, and he tried to stop, but he'd gone too far, and just kind of shot put it past the mound.
Slider fouled out a play by Garner, so quickly 0-2 as the stolen base pitch was taken for a strike. So Chadwick ahead of the count, 0-2. We have 1 out here, top of the 7th inning. Runner at second base is McCullough. Chadwick looks at McCullough, now delivers a high fastball and threw it right by Garner, who's retired on strikes.
See the defense again for Illinois State. They rank second in the conference in fielding percentage. Get that assist for Sokolov. I was trying to see if there was a spot for the conference where that's ranked, but that's 12 assists for him.
Second strikeout of the night recorded by Chadwick, and first pitch swinging is Vogel, and he pops it up in foul territory. Flores comes over for the putout. And Murray State is retired here in the top of the 7th inning. No runs. There were 2 hits. 1 left on. 7th inning stretch time here at Duffy Bass Field. Murray State's a 5-2 lead on Illinois State. Welcome back to Duffy Bass Field here in Normal as the visitors out of Murray, Kentucky with a 5-2 lead on Illinois State. As you take a look at Drew Vogel, who was just able to coax his 2nd home run over the left center field fence back in the 4th inning. At that point, it gave Murray State a 3-1 lead. And Murray State with a aggressive attack as they've been able to scatter runs throughout the scoreboard. Thurston Garner there with the sac fly, which scored Logan Bland. Bland, the leadoff hitter, the second baseman, has scored twice for Murray State here tonight. And the Racers a 5-2 lead on Illinois State as we head to the home half of the seventh inning. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 for Illinois State to hit here at the bottom of the seventh inning against Holler of Murray State, who's in for his first full inning of relief. Flores on the first pitch. Grounds to the third baseman Garner, who picks it up on a hop and throws it top over to McCullough. And Flores is retired. 5-3 in the first pitch here in the seventh.
Teams are a combined 2 for 23 with runners in scoring position. Illinois State is 1 for 12. Murray State is 1 for 11. They had a triple with a runner on second. Illinois State had a bases loaded single. The Redbirds have left 10 on.
Here's Pacella, who's working through it 0 for 3 tonight. Has not seen many pitches, but he takes the first pitch. A fastball just off the plate in the outside. 1-0. Holler came out of relief of Pennington. A slide piece taken inside, so now Pacella, team's top home run threat, with 8 bombs on the year. Good shape at 2-0. And Holler stays off speed on that 2-0 pitch. Makes it count to 2-1 as Pacella takes a strike. 5-2 Murray State. One out here, bottom of the seventh inning. Here's the 2-1 to Pacella. Fastball taken outside, and that quickly evens the count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Greg Nichols, the left-handed hitting third baseman, awaits on deck. He has a double to his credit. Been on base twice. Here's the 2-2 to Pacella. Breaking ball, and Pacella just got a piece of it to stay alive at 2-2.
Ball looked like it pinballed around off everybody. I think it might have hit all 3 of their feet back there, and the umpire, the catcher, and Pacella as well.
Now Pacella on his front foot in that breaking ball. But he stays alive, 2 balls and 2 strikes. That ball hit fouled on the right field line.
The third baseman now has to be 60 feet off the line at third base.
It's between 55 and 60. You're awfully close.
He's standing where the shortstop usually does. Wow.
Second baseman Bland, closer to first base than second.
And in the outfield.
And Vogel on the edge of the outfield, the second base side, the first base side of second base, I should say. Pacella takes a fastball up for ball 3, and we go full with 1 out here in the bottom of the seventh inning. Outfield pretty straight away. 3-2 to Holler. From Holler, and Pacella just gets a piece of it again on the front foot and stays alive at 3-2.
The only thing they haven't done is taken the left fielder and put him over in right field with the right fielder and go with that kind of lineup.
Pacella, just a freshman, not a bundle line, but a faced off against Holler. A Barrington High School product, and a good at-bat by Pacella. He takes a pitch outside for ball 4 and coaches a walk at a Holler. Second walk issued by Holler. Just an inning in the third, so Pacella on base for the first time tonight with 1 out. That's going to bring up Greg Nichols. He walked his last time up back in the 5th. Pacella, 1 of 2 stolen base attempts. Holler the high leg kick and pours first pitch fastball over past Nichols for strike 1.
Not as extreme of a shift, but still a little bit with Nichols up.
Long set by Holler, and the 0-1 is taken downstairs. Ball 1, that evens the count at 1-1.
Again, if you don't throw strikes, it doesn't matter where your defense stands.
Absolutely. Or you don't hit your spot in some cases. Here's the 1-1. Good off-speed pitch, and had Nichols out front. So Holler takes the advantage count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Basella, the runner at first base. He just walked. Flores led off the inning on a 5-3 ground ball. Another long hold by Holler and throws another off-speed pitch, but this time Nichols able to preserve a foul tip and stay alive at 1-2. Game 2 tomorrow, 3 o'clock. Holler comes set. Checks the runner at first, delivers, off speed again, this time fouled out on the first base side toward the Redbird dugout by Nichols, who's wasting some pitches by Holler here to stay alive at 1-2 with 1 out. Did his team high 9th double his first time up in the second, did Nichols. That ball gets past the catcher Howell. That's going to allow Basella to move up 90 feet. So Basella, I believe is a pass ball there. I do not think that ball was in the dirt.
Yeah, he just didn't shift over. The ball was coming in, it almost hit Nichols, and for everything that Howell's done great behind the plate today, he just didn't move over on that one.
They do say a pass ball.
Yeah.
So Basella now at second base with 1 out. 2-2 the count on Nichols. Left-handed hitting third baseman. And Holler misses outside of the breaking ball. And 3-2 now. So after getting Flores on the first pitch of the inning in a 5-3 ground out, Holler is now going full to both Basella and now Nichols. Basella stands at second base. Birds trail at 5-2. Ground ball to second. Bland up with it. He's going to throw to McCullough in time to retire Nichols. And in the process, Basella moves up 90 feet. He's going to stand at third. And when the Birds have had runners at third base, unfortunately tonight it's been with 2 outs.
Yeah, it's been with 2 outs, and except for in the 5th inning where they had the bases loaded single to center by this batter, Dylan Swarmer, they've had trouble getting that run in from third, whether it be with 1 out or 2 outs. They have action in the bullpen. Definitely a lefty throwing out there that I can see. Can't see any number.
Swarmer 1 for 3 on the night. RBI single his last time up, as you said, that scored Rasmussen. Basella now at third, 2 outs, home half of the 7th inning. Murray State 5, Illinois State 2 in the opener of this 3-game set. Now Howell is going to call time.
It looks like they have 2 pitchers going up actually at the moment. Might have 1 of each.
And he's going to take a slow walk out to talk.
And now the shortstop comes in as well.
Nathan Holler, the transfer out of Kennesaw State, and this is definitely something that is being directed from the dugout to give the bullpen a little bit more time to get loose down the line.
Yeah, he looked into the dugout for the sign, and the sign was, go talk to him.
Go waste some time. You've got a couple of trips to burn. Down in the bullpen, it's Thomas McNabb. You're indeed right, the left-hander. Holler at the belt, long kick, and the pitch just outside. Good take. Good take by Swarmer, who checked his swing, and it was just outside. So now 2-0 to Swarmer with 2 outs and a runner at third base. Holler delivers, goes with a slider. Swarmer checked it up in time, and it's 3-0.
Howell immediately asked for an appeal that time when he didn't get an appeal on the last one, so that one wasn't even nearly as close as the one before.
I agree with you. The 1-0 pitch that he took for a fastball was definitely a lot closer to being a strike. But 3-0 now. Holler comes set. Here's the 3-0 offering, and it's a fastball down Broadway. Makes the count 3 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs. Basella, a walk. He's at third base. Moved up to second on a pass ball, and then over to third base on a ground out. Here's the 3-1 offering. Swarmer laces it foul on a play down the right field line. So we go full again. Third consecutive batter that Holler has gone to a full count with. Able to retire Nichols on a ground ball to the second baseman Bland moments ago. This time it's Swarmer on the 3-2. Little number hit in front of the mound. It's going to be gloved by Howell. He's going to throw to first in time. So Swarmer retired 2-3 on the putout. That ends the Redbird threat here in the home half of the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left out. We played 7 complete here in Normal. 5-2 Murray State. To a 5-2 lead as we head to the top of the 8th inning. Take a look at some of our ESPN Plus crew here on this beautiful Friday night. Murray State scoring 2 in the first, then 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. Birds with a 1 in the first and 1 more in the 5th. And the Racers a 3-run lead. Tyrell Chadwick, the rookie out of Kamloops, British Columbia, up to the 3rd inning of work. And he faces Cade Salmons to lead off this top of the 8th inning. Fastball taken upstairs for a ball. Solana started. He went 5. And Salmons slices a ball again into the left center field gap. Rasmussen can't cut it off. It goes all the way to the wall. Salmons around second. He's chugging for third. The relay throw not in time. And a leadoff triple for Cade Salmons here in the top of the 8th inning.
His 3rd triple of the year, which is tied for the team lead. He had a double last time up, which was the first batter Chadwick faced, and now they're in a great spot. Although the way today has gone, maybe you don't want to have runners in scoring position. Neither team has done well there. They are 1 for 11. Illinois State is now 1 for 14 with a runner in scoring position tonight.
Here's the catcher, Taylor Howell. Takes a breaking ball, a bit too far inside by Chadwick, 1-0. Howell leads the ball club in home runs. He's got 7 round trippers on the year. He's working on a 1 for 2 night. Walked in the 2nd, singled in the 4th, and then flew out to right field in the 6th inning. And a fastball upstairs by Chadwick. And quickly he fouls behind Howell. 2 balls and no strikes.
Infield in. The Redbirds cannot afford to fall any further behind. Just 6 outs to work with and down 3.
That fastball brushes Howell off the plate, so quickly 3-0 now. Chadwick falls behind. Cade Salmons will lead off triple. And now a 3-0 pitch to Howell, and that's a fastball. Fills the zone, 3 balls and a strike. Howell has 20 RBIs to his credit this year. Right-handed hitting catcher. Here's the 3-1 from Chadwick, fouled straight back. Chadwick timed up with that fastball, and the count now goes full. So after falling behind 3-0, Chadwick works his way back to a full count of 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out, runner at third base. 5-2 Murray State, and that's a slider hit in the air to left field. Going to be deep enough. Pasella comes in. He's going to throw a great throw in time. Did Swarmer get the tag down? And they're going to say no. That Salmon's able to slide past.
Yeah, they're
going to say interference.
Yeah,
they're going to say Swarmer came up the line to field that throw from Pasella, who made a great throw from left field. The throw beat Salmons.
Nah, he didn't touch him anyway. But you can see the umpire immediately was pointing to where he was and saying that he blocked the plate. It's one of those plays too, John, where both head coaches came out at the same time, because no matter what he called there, one of the head coaches was going to argue it. Either Murray State's coach was going to argue that they should have called interference and that he blocked the plate, or Steve Holm was going to argue that he didn't block it, but he didn't tag him anyway. So.
Well, I did not see that on the replay close enough in case we have an opportunity to take a look at that again, but Swarmer came up to field that ball. And it's a little bit difficult to make that read, and that's why the 3 umpires are getting together here to see. In the heart of the rule, you don't want to block the play.
They're going to go look at it.
But he had to come up, and in the process of fielding that throw from Pasella in left field, ended up being in the baseline to do that. But so the question is whether or not they're looking at whether or not he was blocking the plate and receiving that throw. But as you said, he might not have gotten the tag on him anyway.
It didn't look like he did. The first look we had He dove right past them. Then the question is, did Salmons touch the plate? Let's watch here.
Here's a different angle.
Yeah, he doesn't
He
touch
missed
him,
him. No.
and his left hand's right in the middle of the plate. So
Yeah,
whether
regardless.
he violated the rule of blocking the plate or not, it doesn't matter. He didn't tag him, and you can see it right here.
So that will go down as a sac fly and an RBI for Taylor Howell.
Didn't touch him.
And I thought
Left
that
hand
was
in the middle of the
definitely
plate.
deep enough, but a great throw
It really was.
by Basella to really make that close.
Don't lose that part of the whole thing. He made a fantastic throw from left field, and it's going to end up being, if it stands,
It is. And
their third sac fly of the day.
that is their third sac fly of the day. The RBI goes to Howell, his 21st of the year, and Murray State with an insurance run as they score their 6th run of the night and now lead it 6-2. It's going to bring up the designated hitter, the 8-hole hitter, Riley Hawthorne. Get an RBI triple his last time up, scoring Cade Salmons. Scored just moments ago on the sac fly from Taylor Howell. And quickly Chadwick falls behind 2-0 to Riley Hawthorne. Hawthorne 1 for 3. Also a strikeout victim of Salata back in the 4th inning. And Chadwick pours a fastball down Broadway. 2 balls and 1 strike. Into the line is Chadwick. That ball fouled on the right side toward the Redbird dugout. So Chadwick falls behind 2-0, but quickly works his way back to 2-2. 1 out, nobody on. Into the line. Chadwick breaking ball hit on the ground toward shortstop in the hole. Robinson catches, turns, and unable to get enough on the throw to throw out the speedy Riley Hawthorne and beat it out. That ball was placed perfectly in the 5-6 hole. Robinson, a great job just to range his way to his backhand side to make the play. Unable to get enough on it. And Hawthorne has his 2nd hit of the night. That's going to bring up the 9-hole hitter, Seth Gardner, the center fielder. Hawthorne, 3 of 4 in stolen base attempts. Garner squibs it up the left side, and it's going to be fouled, where it's gloved by Nichols. Hawthorne was running on the play. He's 3 of 4 officially on the season in stolen base attempts. He'll head back to first base. And Gardner will go back to the plate. 7-0-1 counts. 6-2. Murray State with the lead, top of the 8th inning. Here in Normal. 0-1 the count to Seth Gardner. Logan Bland waits on deck. Chadwick's going to throw over to first base, but back safely with the dive is Riley Hawthorne. 1 man out. Leadoff triple by Cade Salmons, and then a sac fly off the bat of Taylor Howell, the catcher. Scored Salmons. Riley Hawthorne beats out an infield ground ball to shortstop, and here we are with 1 out and a breaking ball taken upstairs for ball 1. Gardner 0 of 2 today. His hit by pitch stole a base back in the 2nd inning, and then back-to-back strikeouts in the 5th and 6th. He takes a good fastball off the plate. 2 balls and a strike now to Seth Gardner.
Got to be getting close to where the Redbirds would go to the bullpen again with another base runner.
Fastball. And Gardner a little bit tardy, got jammed, and flares it down the right field line.
Chadwick's almost to 50 pitches. His relief outing here today.
Still has some life on that fastball, you can tell. He has a good young arm. Freshman out of Kamloops, British Columbia. He's going to throw over to first base, and it got by Flores. Down the line. Hawthorne up. He's going to go to second, turn, head for third, and be there standing up as the cutoff throw is cut off by Robinson. So the first error of the night.
Yeah,
we go to Chadwick, and it's a 2-base error, allowing Hawthorne to work his way all the way over to third base with just 1 out, where he now stands in scoring position 90 feet away, and Murray State already with that 4-run lead. A run in so far here in the top of the 8th inning. They lead it 6-2. And knocking on the door again if Gardner can put this ball in play. Redbird infield in. Cross away. Can ill afford to give up another run. And Gardner strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. Does so again on a slider. the second out of the inning. That's going to bring up the leadoff man, the second baseman, Logan Bland.
We sang the praises of Illinois State's defense all night. It's just the third error by a pitcher on the season for Illinois State, and that's going to be the last batter for Chadwick. And Holm raised his left hand as he first came out of the dugout. We'll see.
So Holm's going to go to the bullpen for the second time tonight. That'll do it for Chadwick, who is on relief of the starter, Derek Salata. Chadwick's night is done. Riley Hawthorne at third base. Still under his thumb, and a new pitcher for Illinois State. It's going to be number 48, Zach Holcomb, a 5'10", 180-pound left-hander out of Oviedo, Florida, transferred from the University of Pittsburgh. And in doing so, bringing in a left-hander will turn Bland, the switch hitter, around.
We got right now at the top of the order, you've got switch hitter lefty into this situation, and Holcomb, it looks like this is his debut on the season, and looking at his stats.
Holcomb, the transfer out of Pittsburgh, on for the first time this year. Exactly right.
Yeah, makes it his Illinois State debut as well. His first year at Illinois State, 12 appearances for Pitt last year. 12 and a third innings, 10 strikeouts, and an 8.76 ERA. The 5'10", 180-pound lefty, and everybody gets listed differently now because of the COVID years and the extra years, so he's a 4-year sophomore, the way that stands up. It's not your traditional, oh yeah, he's just a freshman or a redshirt sophomore. Nope, now it's 4-year sophomore, and that's how you have to list guys now. So
with the COVID year,
Yep.
transfer year,
Yep.
even a potential redshirt year in there as well.
You can sneak 6 or 7 of them in there now. He's from Oviedo, Florida, by way of Pitt. And ready for his
little bit of a submarine look from the left-hand side for Holcomb, as he's going to face the leadoff man, Logan Bland, who's been on base twice today and scored a pair of runs. Singled the first pitch of the game off Derek Salata, came around to score. And an RBI ground out off the bat of Brennan McCullough. It's a strikeout victim of Salata back in the third. He walked and scored in the 5th inning and then grounded out to end the 6th inning, his last time up. So he's going to swing around, hit from the right-hand side, and Holcomb's first offering to him is taken inside for ball 1. Bland at the belt, and Holcomb hits Bland with the 1-0 offering. So Holcomb comes out of the bullpen in his debut and hits the first batter he sees. So Bland is on base for the 3rd time tonight. Murray State now with runners at the corners and 2 outs.
looking at the line for Chadwick. He's responsible for the runner at third. 2 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. He threw 48 pitches.
Holcomb, first pitch swinging is Mercer, and he swings right through. The first offering from Holcomb, who jumps ahead 0-1. Mercer, 3 hits on the night, 3 of 4 nights, including a run scored. That breaking ball taken off the plate. Runner at first base is Logan Bland. Runner at third base, Riley Hawthorne. Holcomb comes set at the belt. He's going to step off and casual throw over to first base. Bland back. Safely standing up. Bland just 1 stolen base attempt on the year for the leadoff man. Here's the 0-2 breaking ball, skied in the air behind home plate. Swarmer giving chase, heads over the net, but it's going to land about 8 rows up in the seats here at Duffy Bass Field. And the count stays 0-2. as Mercer stays alive. The top hitter on this Murray State Ball Club came into play today, 301. 5 home runs. A team high 9 doubles. Got that double in the first inning.
Pretty open stance for Mercer, too, especially against the lefty.
Here's the 0-2 off-speed offering. Got Mercer to chase high and outside. And Holcomb picks up his first strikeout in a Redbird uniform. But Murray State able to play one more run. We played 7.5 here in Normal. 6-2. Murray State with the lead. On the Illinois State University campus in the opener of a 3-game set. And the visitors, one of the newest members of the Valley, with a 6-2 lead as we head to the home half of the 8th inning. And the Racers, who came into play at 4-5 in the Valley in 6th place.
It's always interesting seeing the mix of the non-conference games. Obviously, they're located in a different part geographically, and they get games non-conference against Alabama A&M. They already played Arkansas State, UT Martin coming up, North Alabama. Get a former Ohio Valley Conference opponent, and then when they play at SEMO, which they've already played them once at home, they'll play them again. They play Austin Peay in there, another former conference opponent for those games. But you see a different mix of opponents where when you look at Illinois State's schedule, it's games against Western Illinois and Iowa and the closer teams. The same thing is when you look at Bradley, and now we see Thomas McNabb out of Conway, Arkansas, who's coming to this ball game. So that's a new part of the dynamic for introducing new conference teams, where for the most part the teams in the Missouri Valley have played the same kind of non-conference team.
Exactly.
But you bring in a team from further away, and they're playing teams that are closer to them.
A lot more Atlantic Sun opponents and SWAC opponents for Murray State. And McNabb on for the Racers, who lead it 6-2. McNabb making his 15th appearance of the year. He's 4-1 on the 5.54 earned run average.
I'm surprised.
26 innings of work, 27 hits.
Surprised too when you look up and down their schedule. Not a whole lot of the Power 5 opponents from that part of the country either. They did get a game at Kentucky in there on March 7th, but that's really it as far as Power 5 teams go. Expected to see a few more of those as part of their schedule. Maybe that'll happen as they continue to evolve in the conference.
McNabb, 26 innings. He's fanned 34. And he falls behind the first man he faces, and Shy Robinson, rookie shortstop, who had his first hit earlier tonight in the Redbird uniform. And he swings at that 3-1 offering and fouls it off at the plate. So the count goes full. Birds need base runners. They trail it by 4. They've been out hit to 11-7 and trail the run column 6-2. Murray State looking to pick up the Friday night win of the first of a 3-game set. It's a pivotal one for both ball clubs. And the race to that Valley tournament in late May in Terre Haute. And Shy Robinson coaxes a walk out of McNabb.
He's been on base 3 times today, John. Hit by a pitch in the second. When what would have been ball 4, even if it didn't hit him. His first career single in the 4th, and now a walk here in the 8th. So building blocks for Robinson as he works his way back from that hamate bone injury that cost him 22 games of his freshman season.
That was a good at bat there. Birds need base runners. He was able to coax a walk as they trail it by 4 with just 6 outs to work with.
And you're probably going to be facing Ben Kreisen, the closer, with a 2.21 ERA on the year in the 9th inning, more than a strikeout per inning. So be nice to get at least something off McNabb here in the 8th.
Here's a 1-0 from McNabb. Sokolov squares the bunt, pulls it back. He takes a fastball outside, 2-0.
Sokolov tried to bunt. The runner on in the second, 2 runners on in the second, popped up foul to the catcher. He's been hit by a pitch and walked.
McNabb is going to throw over to first base, and back safely is Robinson standing up.
Everybody on the first base side of the field in this ballpark today yelled back at the same time to let Robinson know to get back to first.
McNabb, 26 innings pitched. He's only walked 11 as he throws him to first again. And Robinson back again. They say you never go over 3 straight times, so we'll see. I don't think Robinson's going to be running, trailing by 4 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Here's the 2-0 to Sokolov. Squares the bunt, takes a fastball elevated for ball 3. So just 11 walks in 26 innings, but McNabb really struggling. The first 2 batters he's faced here tonight coming in out of the bullpen to find the strike zone. 3-0 now the count to the number 9 man, Sokolov. And the 3-0 offering is outside, taken away for ball 4. And the Birds on back-to-back walks. Have runners at first and second, trailing by 4.
No matter what the lead, not much frustrates you more as a coach than bringing in a new pitcher who walks the first 2 batters, especially when it's the 8 and 9 hitters.
I was just
in
going to
the
say,
lineup.
absolutely. And you turn over the lineup with nobody out now. Runners at first and second, the leadoff man, Shane Kubo.
We're going to get at least a conversation out here on the mound. Kubo bats from the right side, then it's 2 straight lefties. And they've not made any kind of motion here as they put the entire infield on the mound. That's another situation, John, that's not allowed in Major League Baseball where he threw over there twice. And now if you throw over a 3rd time, if you don't pick them off, it's a balk. And that hasn't trickled its way down, and maybe it won't to the NCAA levels and further down. But in pro ball, that's one of the new rules this year on throwing over to first base, or throwing over to any base, but especially focused on throwing over to first base.
That one I would have a problem with at the college level, I think, just because the ability of the catch and throw guys behind the plate, as slow as some guys are to the plate on the mound, I mean, it's going to be a track meet at first base if they ever institute that.
Yeah, you'll be stealing bases all over. We got our hard-working crew out there behind the outfield fence. That was our center field camera. They are changing pitchers.
There have been some really difficult days to work so far this year, and this is not one of them. This is one of the more enjoyable nights at the yard. 79 degrees at game time, and Murray State goes to the bullpen again, and it's going to be Ryan Weaver.
So McNabb just threw 10 pitches, 2 strikes in his night. Weaver.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. It's Ben Kreisen, the closer, who comes in for Murray State. Excuse me.
Yeah, Kreisen's one of those guys that has 2 different numbers depending on which jersey they're wearing. And in this navy with the yellow, he wears 25. He also can wear number 22 on their jerseys. They've got a couple guys that are like that, given the jerseys they have. Kreisen's been fantastic. As I mentioned a couple batters ago, Illinois State knew at some point they were going to be facing him. For Northport, Florida, 6'2", 215. The senior is a 2.21 ERA. This is his 17th appearance, and so he's pitched in exactly half of their games now, 17 out of 34. He has 3 saves, 22 strikeouts in 20 innings. Opponents hit just 216 against him. So he's got fantastic numbers throughout the season for Ben Kreisen.
Yeah, just 216, the opponent batting average. Kreisen, a transfer out of Florida A&M in Tallahassee.
Yeah, they've got a lot of transfers on this team from some of the schools down in the southeastern part. We already talked about the starting pitcher, Pennington, although he never pitched for Tennessee. He was only there in the fall semester as a freshman. But you get recruited into Tennessee, and that says something about you to start with right there, and that's how he was. We've seen, so far, Kennesaw State, and you mentioned South Florida, but they've got Howell, the catchers from Memphis. They've got another two-way player who's a graduate student from Oklahoma. They obviously have a fantastic program as well. Dustin Mercer in right field from Virginia Tech. Kate Simmons in the outfield started at Ole Miss. So they've had quite a few pretty good programs on their transfer list that they've gotten some players from that have started in some really good spots around the country.
Yeah, SEC, ACC, throughout the roster for this Murray State Ball Club. So McNabb walks the only 2 Birds that he faces, the 8-9 hitters. Birds trail it by 4, 6-2, last of the 8th inning, nobody out. And now the top of the order for Steve Holmes Ball Club, Shane Kubo, the leadoff man, the second baseman. Team high 320 on the year coming into play today. He's 1 for 4 on the night so far. And the first pitch by Kreisen, who's now much more over-the-top right-handed pitcher, is outside for ball 1. So Murray State bullpen A little bit shaky here in the eighth. McNabb, as you said, threw 10 pitches, 8 of which were outside of the strike zone. And the 1-0 taken downstairs to Kubo.
Howell did everything he could to frame that and steal a strike right there. He knows they need to get a strike in the column right here.
Leadoff walk to Shy Robinson. And a walk to Sokolov. Now the leadoff man, Shaden Kubo. Heading the count 2-0. To Kreisen, and the 2-0 pitch. He's going to square, pull back on the bunt, and Kreisen having home plate. Bounce around on him a little bit in the first batter he's facing, and Shaden Kubo. Augie Rasmussen is on deck, and he represents the tying run of this ball game. 6-2 Murray State. Kreisen the high set. Here's the 3-0, and pumps the fastball down Broadway, 3-1.
Those last two pitches, Kubo could have just laid the bat in the left-hander's batter's box. He wasn't going to swing at all at 2-0 or 3-0. Now, see if he can do some damage.
I'm not even sure he's got a green light here at 3-1. Trailing by 4 here in the last of the 8th inning. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Fastball hit on the ground. Past the diving third baseman Garner into left field. Robinson circles third. He's going to come in and score. And the Birds are back within 3. An RBI single by Shaden Kubo. Past the diving Garner at third base. And the Birds manufacture a run and now have runners at first and second. Still with nobody outs. And Augie Rasmussen representing the tying run at the plate.
That's what they've not been able to do all night. Get that one big hit with the runner in scoring position with less than 2 outs. Now 2 for 15 with the runner in scoring position tonight. Rasmussen's been swinging a hot bat. He's got to keep it going.
So Rasmussen, the lefty, digs in to face Kreisen, and the first pitch, a fastball taken in the inside corner for strike 1. Robinson started off with a walk. Moved to second on a walk to Sokolov. They went to Kreisen out of the bullpen in Murray State. Kubo greets him with an RBI single, scoring Robinson from second. Kubo's at first. Sokolov at second. And Augie Rasmussen holds up on a breaking ball. They're going to say he did not go around, so the count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Safe to say the dugout on the third base side disagrees with the base umpire's call there.
Noah Rabin waits on deck. Rasmussen, slightly open stance on the left-hand side, swings at a fastball, lifts it in the air to left field. Salmon's giving chase over toward the line. That ball carried all the way to the warning track. Tagging up from second base is Sokolov, and he's going to slide it safely to third. So Rasmussen flies out to left, but in doing so, able to move Sokolov up 90 feet.
I'm surprised that the runner Kubo at first didn't follow when he saw that throw start to come to third. He might have been halfway, though, I guess, on the fly ball down to left field with the runner at second tagging up, because it's the runner at first, it's a tying run.
That ball carried a lot further than I thought. And Noah Rabin, who was 0 for 4 on the night, is going to be lifted for a pinch hitter here.
Is that Noah Strong?
And it's going to be Nick Strong.
Nick Strong, excuse me.
The 6'2", right-handed hitting sophomore, the transfer out of Delta College out in Stockton, California. He's going to dig in. Kreisen the high set's going to throw over to first base, and back safely standing up is Shaden Kubo.
Nick hitting for Noah here in the 8th as the tying run.
So 1 out. Runners at the corners for the Birds. They trail it by 3. Here's the pitch to Strong. Held up his swing, but it gets by Howell. He retrieves it, throws to the pitcher covering, but not before Sokolov able to slide in safely. And the Birds are back within 2 now at 6-4 in the process. Kubo moves up to second base. We'll have to see if that went down as a pass ball or a wild pitch. It looked like Howell tried to backhand that ball, and it just squirted by him instead of blocking it. They are going to say a wild pitch, however. So Sokolov officially scores on a wild pitch. Kubo moves up to second base. And Nick Strong, who's hitting .212 on the year. Ahead in the count. 1 ball and no strikes. Cries in the high set. Looks at Kubo at second base. Throws another slider. And once again, Strong checks his swing, and he's ahead in the count. 2 balls and no strikes.
Both runs this inning charged to McNabb. He walked them both to start the inning, and they both come around to score.
Strong with a home run to his credit. He represents the tying run, 6-4. Murray State with the lead, and a good 2-0 cut by Strong. He fouls him straight back. 2 balls and a strike. Freshman year at Delta. The top junior colleges in California at 233, 6 home runs, 27 RBIs last year. Here's the 2-1 offering hit. 1 hopper to short, knocked down by Vogel. He gloves it up in time and throws across to McCullough to retire Strong.
We talked earlier about the issues they've had on the middle infield, and that's where 20 of their errors have come from. But he did a fantastic job right there. When he lost that ball to start with, he didn't panic. Stuck right with it, picked it up, made a strong throw to first. A lot of times that's where you see a mental mistake follows the physical mistake, and you compound them together, and then all of a sudden it's first and second with 2 outs, 4 even, or 1 out, or even worse, you throw it away and it's second and third. He did a nice job to recover there and get the out at first base.
Strong hit that ball hard, just a 1 hopper, but Vogel right there to knock it down. And here's Flores, the cleanup hitter for the Birds. He takes a fastball away for ball 1.
Sac fly in the first inning for the first run of the game, and a walk in the 5th, so 0 for 2 today for Flores.
3:13 given into play today. 2 home runs, 12 RBIs. Birds trail it by 2. Fastball outside, and he laces it into right field for a base hit, and they're going to hold up Kubo at third base. And I'm not sure if Kubo broke with contact with 2 outs or not, but the right fielder Mercer came up throwing after fielding the base hit by Flores. And now the Birds with runners at the corners, and that's going to bring up their biggest home run threat, Dan Pacella, who now all of a sudden represents the go-ahead run for the Birds in a left-handed batter's box.
Mercer does lead the Racers with 6 outfield assists on the season, so that might have been part of the scouting report there as well, and holding the runner at third base. We are going to get a pinch runner at first, replacing Flores.
And you might think with Pacella coming up, no reason to risk it. So the runner at third base is Shaden Kubo. Pacella digs in. Left-handed box, and a throw by Kreisen over to first base, and back in time. Pacella on the night. 0 for 3. He walked last time. That was last inning. Stranded at third. Here's the 0-1 pitch. A breaking ball to Pacella. Hung it outside for ball 1.
J.P. Gauthier is the pinch runner at first base, number 2.
He comes in for Flores after Flores.
We're going to have a meeting on the mound here.
Single to right field. That moved Kubo up to third.
That's about as slow and deliberate as a walk out to the mound as you can have as a coach. And this is their closer on the mound. When you look at the Murray State statistics on the season, he's got 3 of their 4 saves, and the other save is Bryce Valera, who has started 6 games this year and is 3-0 and is supposed to be one of the starters in this series. So Kreisen's your only guy who has locked down a save that you've got, and they're out there to have a nice long chat here in the 8th inning.
And this is his 17th appearance for Kreisen on the year. He's thrown just 20 and a third coming into play, so he now has an elevated pitch count. And if they're still looking to try to nurse one more in the 9th, that's going to be much higher than he is used to. And Steve Atkins, the first-year pitching coach, former Bradley Brave, heads back to the third base dugout for Murray State. Pacella heading the count, 1 ball, no strikes. 2 outs, runners at the corners, and a fastball from Kreisen taken outside. 2 balls and no strikes to Pacella, who leads his ball club with 8 home runs and 25 RBIs. Getting out of the 5-hole tonight for the rookie left fielder. On a Mundelein, Illinois. Here's the 2-0 offering, a breaking ball, and they're going to say Pasella did go, trying to check his swing of the breaking ball on 2-0, but went a bit too far.
Seen a lot of check swings against these relievers from Murray State tonight.
2-1. Kreisen's pitch goes back with the breaking ball. This time Pasella lays off and takes it downstairs. And a 3-1 hitter's count for Pasella. 0 for 3 tonight with a walk is Daniel Pasella. 3-1. 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th inning. Breaking ball laced down the line and foul. Pasella was on top of that, but just a bit too far out in front with the barrel. And he lined that just past the seats down the right field line. So 3-2. Gauthier will be moving on the pitch. Kubo leads off at third. The 3-2 bounces in, blocked by Howell. And another walk given up by Murray State pitching this inning. Second consecutive walk by Pasella, and that's going to load the bases. So Kuba goes to third. Gauthier moves up to second. Pasella at first. And Pacella's going to be lifted for a pinch runner here at first base as Greg Nichols comes on. Who has a double to his credit tonight. He's 1 for 3.
8 walks tonight for Illinois State hitters. They've also been hit by a pitch twice. That's 10 freebies from the Racers.
So here's Nichols. 2 outs, bases loaded. Birds trailing by 2. First pitch taken downstairs for ball 1.
He's over 20 pitches now as well. And as you mentioned, they've still got potentially to get through the 9th inning. And this is their top closer.
He's been behind virtually every bird he has faced since coming in. That 1-0 pitch sliced down the line and left, giving chase is going to be Salmons, but he's going to run out of real estate, goes out to the Murray State pen, and Nichols stays alive at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, they've got action in that bullpen. They have a lefty throwing at the moment.
1 swing of the bats, and this game could be tied or in favor of the Birds, who really struggled against Murray State. The starter Pennington knocked on the door a couple times, couldn't put it through, but they got 2 on the board here in the last of the 8th. And they're back within 2 at 6-4. Here's the 1-1. Fastball taken downstairs, almost at the feet of Nichols. And the count goes to 2-1. Nowhere to put Nichols. Kubo at third. The tying run is Gauthier. He's on at second base. High set. Here's the 2-1. Fastball hit on the ground behind the bag. Vogel up with it. Throws barely in time just to get Nichols. And that retires the side as Vogel throws out Nichols 6-3. And the Birds get 2 runs but are retired in the 8th. After 8 complete here at Normal, it's Murray State 6 and the Redbirds 4. Back here at Duffy Bass Field in Normal, we head to the top of the 9th inning. And the visiting Racers of Murray State with the lead, 6-4. Birds stretch 2 across the last of the 8th inning to pull back within 2 as you take a look at what's coming up for the Birds after this weekend here at home against Murray State. They'll play host to Milwaukee on the Horizon League on Tuesday. They'll be up in DeKalb on Wednesday for a non-conference matchup at NIU. They'll visit the River City next weekend to take on the Bradley Braves and then return back home for a non-conference tilt with Lindenwood.
Yeah, Northern Illinois comes in here the day after that Lindenwood game. That's the last home non-conference game on April 26th. Road series left at SIU and Valpo, and home series against Evansville and UIC. Be real nice for the Redbirds to start this series with the win. Murray State got out of that jam again. Second time they've stranded Illinois State with the bases loaded. The Redbirds have left double digits on base today.
Fourth pitch of the night for Illinois State, and it's going to be the right-hander, Elijah Dale, the 5'11" junior out of St. Louis, Missouri. He's a transfer out of Kansas State. Dale on for the 10th time this year. Record of 2-3 with a 4.12 earned run average. He has 3 saves to his credit, 24 innings pitched, given up just 20 hits, 11 earned runs. He's walked a mere 5, and he's struck out 32. Opponent's hitting just .217 against the right-handed junior out of St. Louis.
He's a unique story. He was recruited here to Illinois State out of high school as a shortstop. Went to Kansas State. They turned him into a pitcher at Kansas State, and then he transfers to Illinois State, so he gets to play for Steve Holm anyway, but in a different position than Coach Holm had originally recruited him to play.
Good breaking ball there. And he's quickly adding the count 0-2.
Got really good stuff. D1 Baseball ranked him as the Missouri Valley's number 11 draft prospect for this year.
And he makes quick work of one of the top hitters on this Murray State Ball Club as he disposes Brennan McCullough down on strikes for the first out here in the top of the 9th inning. That is the 11th strikeout by Redbird pitchers here tonight. They still trail 6-4. Holcomb first pitch, and Carson Gardner trying to check his swing, but unable to do so.
It's one of those weird games where almost every stat is going to favor Illinois State when this one is over, except for the hits with runners in scoring position and runners left on, because as you mentioned, they've gotten double-digit strikeouts. They've picked up 8 walks and had 2 hit by a pitch, just haven't gotten that timely hit.
Quickly 0-2 to Garner. Here's the 0-2. Good job by Strong. Trying to sell that one. And another good pitch. Swarmer thought he had that one. Didn't quite turn his back to Greg Harmon, but I think he wondered where exactly that missing. We're even now at 2-2 with 1 out. Here's Dale into the line. Fastball just off the plate again, and we're full to Carson Garner, the third baseman. Got a pair of sac flies to his credit tonight, also a pair of strikeouts. Here's the 3-2 offering slider, and Garner swings right through it. So Elijah Dale comes in and punches out the first 2 racers he faces here in the top of the 9th inning.
Yeah, what a weird day for Garner. His box score, at least at the moment, is going to say 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts, and 2 RBI.
Seth Gardner and Carson Garner, the 3 and the 9 hole hitters, have both been strikeout victims 3 times tonight to Redbird pitching. Here's Drew Vogel, the shortstop. And he takes the first 2 pitches outside of the zone. 2-0. Vogel flew out in the first inning. Hit his second home run of the year in the 4th. Struck out in a breaking ball day in the 5th, and then popped up to the first baseman, Flores, in the 7th inning.
Swarmer almost threw that ball to center field. Dale had to leap off the mound to catch the throwback after the pitch was called a strike.
Here's the 2-1 from Dale. Taken downstairs, and 3-1 the count. Strike zone seems to have gotten a little bit smaller here in this 9th inning. Dale into the line, the 3-1. Fastball, that one's a strike. And Dale goes full on Drew Vogel, the shortstop. It's been pretty impressive at the shortstop spot, both offensively and defensively. He swings at a slider and hits it into the air, deep, and over everybody's head off the reservation for a home run. That ball continued to carry.
It sounded good off the bat, and it looked for a moment as if it might get held up with Rasmussen heading into left center, but it just kept going, went right over the word Duffy and Duffy Bass Field, and a big insurance run. And whether they bring Kreisen back out in the game or they go to the bullpen where they do have action, that gives them just a big exhale right there now with having a 3-run lead and knowing Illinois State has to get 2 base runners to have a chance and not just get maybe a walk to start the inning and then boom, the tying runs at the plate.
You're exactly right. That's a huge difference between a 2 and a 3-run lead. As Dale was cruising along.
Yeah, he made those first 2 batters, especially McCullough, the first batter. I mean, that at-bat was over in 30 seconds with 3 straight strikes.
So Vogel, who came in at 254 with a home run, has hit home run number 2 and 3 here tonight. And has given Murray State a 7-4 lead here in the top of the 9th inning. 2-1 count with 2 outs. Cade Salmons, a transfer out Ole Miss, and he takes the fastball down.
Vogel made a couple of really nice plays at shortstop, too. That last one to end the last inning was on the opposite side of the bag at second, and he kind of nonchalant of the throw, but he got enough on it to get it over there, and he made a really nice play earlier on a double play where he turned it at second base, throwing back to the pitcher. So he's had a fantastic overall game as we get ball 4 now.
So Salmons, recipient of a walk from Dale. Salmons on base now for the 3rd time tonight. First time he has walked. That's going to bring up the catcher, Taylor Howell, who's 1 for 2 with an RBI. Walked in the 2nd, singled in the 4th, flew out to right in the 6th, and then a sac fly to Vasella in the 8th inning in left field. Dale out of the stretch, and first pitch to Howell is a fastball taken upstairs for ball 1.
Yeah, that home run seems to have
rattled.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. To rattle Dale, I was going to say shake his confidence because he was down in the zone. He was hitting spots. He was all over, and now he's missed on 5 straight. There's a strike to pump in there. But a lot of those to Salmons weren't close, and then a high pitch on the first one to Howell. Good to see him get back into the strike zone here.
That was a good fastball there to even the count of 1-1. Runner going. Pitch, a strike, the throw down. And they're going to say not in time. I don't believe the tag was ever put on.
I don't think the tag was put on, but the umpire never signaled anything one way or the other. Guess he just figured it was so obvious that he didn't need to let us know.
So Salmons comes up with the stolen base. That's just his 2nd of the campaign. He's now 2 of 2. So Howell looking at a 1-2 pitch with 2 outs, and he swings at a slider. And Swimmer picks it up off the deck, tags him for the final out here in the top of the 9th inning. 1 big run for Murray State. They now lead it 7-4. Last chance, bottom of the 9th for Illinois State. Right after this timeout here in Normal. Last chance opportunity, bottom of the 9th inning. Here in the first of a 3-game set at Duffy Bass Field as we take a look at our play of the game, presented by Carl Broman Health. And Vogel with a pair of home runs, the shortstop for Murray State. The most recent of which has given a 3-run cushion to Murray State, got some insurance. The Racers led it 5-2. And the Birds inched back with 2 in the bottom of the 8th inning to pull back within 2, but Vogel at his 2nd home run of the night. And at top of the 9th inning to extend the Racer lead to 3 runs. Cries it on for his 2nd inning of relief, the closer for Murray State. And he's going to face Dylan Swarmer, the catcher, to lead off the 9th inning. Today's play of the game brought to you by Carl Broman Medical Center, redefining healthcare around you. Visit carl.org to find the care you need. Rising with a fastball upstairs, and we're even at 1-1.
Really need to get the leadoff guy on, put some pressure on Kreisen and the Racers here in the 9th.
Bottom 3 in the order for the Birds. Swarmer, Robinson, and Sokolov. As Swarmer slices a foul ball down the right field line. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Those 3 have been on base a combined 7 times tonight, have scored 2 runs, and Swarmer has an RBI.
Kreisen a team high 3 saves, looking to lock it down. Breaking ball, and it just stayed just upstairs. Good job by Swarmer.
Well, he should know the strike zone, being the Redbirds catcher.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Swarmer to lead off this bottom of the 9th inning. 7-4 Murray State. Kreisen set, breaking ball. And this time he got Swarmer to go chase. And Swarmer is down on strikes for the first out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. So Shy Robinson, who's been on base 3 times and 4 trips today. As you see the first home run by Vogel just go over the left field fence. That was the first of 2 hit by the shortstop.
Yeah, second one went
And
more
our
into
Carl
left.
Broman play of the game.
Second one went more into left center field, but gave them this big insurance run. Let them breathe a little easier here in the 9th.
Especially Kreisen on the mound, who really had to work hard to get through that 8th inning. His first inning of work. Robinson lines the ball down the left field line. And quickly he's back on in the count 0-2. JT Sokolov, the right fielder, with the 9-hole hitter. Waits on deck. 0-2 to Robinson with 1 out. Kreisen the high set. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball back up the box and a base hit. And Robinson, for the second time tonight, delivers a breaking ball right back up the box. His second hit of the night.
Now, he lashed that ball foul down the third base line right before that. It's changed his approach just a little bit, just enough to smack that one into center field. Now he's got a couple of hits. I think that's a young man that you're going to see his confidence continue to grow. He's obviously got a ton of athletic talent and ability out there on the field.
Going right back up the box with a couple of breaking balls. Sokolov, the 9th-place hitter, takes a fastball right down the middle for strike 1. So Robinson at first base. Sokolov at the plate. Shaden Kubo, the leadoff man on deck. He represents the tying run for the Birds, who trail it by 3 with 1 out here in the last of the 9th. Kreisen, the 0-1, take it upstairs for ball 1.
They started the rally last inning. Did Robinson and Sokolov with a pair of walks. They both came around to score, and now they're trying to get it going here in the 9th. Robinson did his part. Now it's up to the number 9 hitter.
1-1 as Robinson leads off at first base, and another elevated fastball taken for a ball for Sokolov. So 2-1 the count for JT Sokolov.
Walked twice today, hit by a pitch in his second plate appearance.
Sophomore out of Hudsonville, Michigan. Heading the count 2-1. Fastball upstairs again. 3 balls and a strike. Robinson at first. 1 out. Sokolov ahead in the count. 3-1 with the leadoff man Kubo waiting on deck. Here's the 3-1. Taken outside. Ball 4. And Sokolov able to coax his 3rd walk of the night. He goes to first base. Robinson, who had singled, moves up to second base on the walk, and that's going to turn the order over for Shaden Kubo, the top hitter on this Redbird Ball Club. There's a pair of hits, a run scored, an RBI today, and he represents the tying run. Does not have a home run to his credit here. Robinson at second, Sokolov at first. Here's the 0-0 pitch, laced down the line, but it's going to be falling out of play. Top of the Paul DeYoung hitting building.
Just wait to see if the coaches are going to pop out of the dugout there to have a conversation at all with Kreisen in the infield. Now at the tying runs to the plate, but they let it ride here.
So Kreisen in the count, 2-1. Last of the 9th. Breaking ball in the dirt. Good block by Howell. Keep it in front of him. Robinson stays at first as the lead runner. Kubo, the right-handed hitter. RBI single his last time in the 8th inning. Now hits here in the 9th, an opportunity to represent the tying run. Here's the 2-1 breaking ball. Chopper at third base. Up with it is Garner. He's going to have time. Throw it across to McCullough to retire Kubo. 5-3, and the Birds are down to their final out here in the last of the 9th inning. So 2 outs on the play. Robinson moves up to third. And because it was a high chopper, Sokolov able to move up to second base without the fear of the double play. And Augie Rasmussen, one of the hottest Redbirds, is going to dig in. He also represents a tying run.
14 left on so far tonight.
Kreisen will start Rasmussen off with a breaking ball, and he takes it for a strike, 0-1. Robinson at third, Sokolov at second base. Birds trail at 7-4. Last of the ninth inning, 2 outs here in the first of a 3-game set. Here's the 0-1, breaking ball again, trying to back foot slider, but too far inside. That'll even the count up into 1 ball and a 1 strike.
Almost hit him in the foot, too. He just did lift that foot out of the way.
Get a good look at Robinson at third base. Picked up his second hit of the night. 1-1 the count to Rasmussen. Here's Kreisen's pitch. Breaking ball went around the plate, stayed outside. I think Howell thought it was a strike, but
Howell looked back in disbelief on that one.
that's not something you should really do in those unwritten rules of baseball. 2-1 to Rasmussen. First base is open. Strong's going to wait on deck, who came in to pinch it for Rabin in his last time. Rasmussen chases a high fastball, swings through it. That'll even the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Birds down their final bullet here. They trail it by 3, 7-4. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Augie Rasmussen. Kreisen, high set, 2-2. Breaking ball. Rasmussen tried to check his swing, but unable to do so. And Kreisen able to get the punch out to end the affair here tonight. So Murray State picks up the 7-4 win in the opener of this 3-game weekend set here inside Duffy Bass Field. With the win, Murray State now even in Valley play as they improve to 5-5 in the conference campaign. The loss, the Birds have now dropped 5 straight. They fall to 2 up and 8 down in Missouri Valley Conference play. Series continues tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock will be first pitch here from the Illinois State University campus in Normal. Murray State wins the opener tonight, 7-4, the final count. So for Nathan Believa, I'm John Fitzgerald saying so long from North.